Mhm. Wait, hey Oniryu, my chatbot isn't working. Hold on. I didn't even notice. Therapy Gaki? Really? Okay, what's... I could have sworn I thought I fixed my chatbot. Okay, alright, at least it's working now. That's bizarre. Sorry about that, I didn't notice you for the past few minutes. Well, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. All good? Alright. So, yeah, I guess I'll start chatting about stuff in a moment. You good? Just woke up? Well, good morning to you. Well, alright. Um, What's going on with... Okay. Okay. I'm just right now I'm just gathering some things because just wanted to show. I'll talk. I'm gonna just get on my whole like affair thing in a moment. Actually, I can bring this up. Oh, give me just a second. Okay, so let's put this here. So I guess good morning to everybody if you're in my same time zone. It's been about 8 minutes since I've started the stream. Apologies for being a bit slow, but this is all things considered pretty casual. So for those of you that are here, I'm trying a bit of a change when it comes to the stream. So as opposed to just having this questionnaire be a thing, I am just basically going to lead it with a certain topic that I feel could be talked about, could be a benefit to people. So yeah, we'll get to it. With that being said, these streams for these Q&As are on Saturdays from 10 to 1. If you do have a question, you can feel free to ask in chat. And if you would like to submit some sort of big request for a form to get some assistance with either your self-esteem or relationships for free, that's what this form is for. So if you don't know my expertise, I have helped clients reconcile with their partners despite divorce, affairs, and many of my clients also have trouble managing their stress, anxiety, require assistance in developing healthier coping skills and behaviors. So some of my clients, they've had ADD, ADHD, PTSD, generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, and more. But with that being said, I'm not a therapist. I do want to be a therapist someday. I don't have a license. This is just for fun, for education, just extra information. Do not treat my word as gospel. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a license. But yeah, if you do find some of this stuff interesting, I would encourage you to, and you have concerns about it especially, talk to some professionals you trust. So if you have a therapist, speak to a therapist. If you have a doctor, you can speak to a doctor by any means. Just for your own safety. So, hey Nemesis, hey Chicken Burrito. So the thing is, when it comes to affairs and cheating and all that is naturally going to be, it's considered a very it's a controversial topic for, I guess, for most people. I think for most people, I don't actually know the data. But when you think of relationship cheating, when you think of affairs, usually our instinct is to demonize the person having the affair. And I think for that, like, that's pretty standard. I think that's pretty much expected. Like, oh my gosh, how could you cheat on your partner? This awful, it's terrible, you're a terrible person, blah, 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 etc. Right? And I think what's going on is people usually just have a stereotype of, hey, this is the type of person who has an affair. So they go straight to a judgment based on an assumption. But from my professional experience, while there are certainly the types of people who will willingly like do the stereotypical things, it's not, in my experience, it's not as black or white. So to me, in general, infidelity, so I'll just put that here, infidelity at large, obviously a serious breach of trust, there's betrayal involved. But in my experience, this is a symptom of bigger problems. Now, what those bigger problems are can be up for debate. So it could either be with the individual, well, it could be with the cheater, It could be with the, let's call it the victim. All right. The cheater, the victim. And there could be, let's just say, it could be a mix of things. I mean, it could be all sorts of things. But usually the common thread is to go from infidelity, the problem is with the cheater. Pretty much like 99% of the time, that's not a database driven number, but I think like the knee-jerk response is, oh, the person who cheated is bad. Okay. Knee-jerk response. And oh, let's feel sympathetic for the person who's been cheated on. Pretty much most of the time. And it's like a decent standard response, but it's not like the absolute worst thing. But what I find happens is that we'll just conclude, oh, the problem 100% is with the cheater. Like, let's say I got cheated on, not that I've been cheated on, all right? Not that it matters whether I have or not, to be honest. But it's right away it can just be like a straight shot to the demonization. But like I said, it's a gray area. But for people who are, say, victims of infidelity, right? Just labeling the other person as a cheater, in my opinion, is insufficient. There is really nothing to be gained from it. There's nothing to learn. And it's oftentimes in my line of work, especially with a lot of my clients, there is just no growth possible. For me, the way to overcome an affair in general for the victim, pretty much no matter what, is to have a growth mindset. I talked about this with Cass, actually, and she's just straight up said, like, yeah, when you got affairs, a growth mindset is important. I think having a growth mindset in general is crucial. Like, you gotta have it. So the growth mindset is independent of this, to be honest. And for me, the bigger tell in cheating is still a horrible thing to do, but look at bigger picture, might be the one who got cheated on was an asshole to the cheater. Right, there is that nuance, for example. Obviously, like, getting cheated on sucks. Obviously, feeling betrayed sucks. Getting betrayed sucks. But as Chicken Burrito, you're mentioning, outside of that, there could be like a lot of problems in here. A lot of problems that are in here. Like, if you're an asshole to your partner, like freaking 24/7, 365, then like, I'm not gonna like really feel that much sympathy to you when your partner decides to like cheat and leave or whatever, or just like leave you. I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, dude. Oh no, you treated your partner like absolute trash and then they found somebody else and left you. Like, whoop-de-fuck, like, I'm just like, bro, come on. Like, it's just, and if that same person who got cheated on is then just gonna cry the victim the entire time, I'm like, bro, look, I get it, you got cheated on, it hurts, but there are a lot of these toxic things that you need to change, like, really seriously contributed to your relationship decline. But oftentimes that self-reflection isn't even there. And Chicken Burrito, you make a good point about you can still be like hurt and upset you got cheated on. Like, I'm not saying no, you shouldn't feel bad. I'm like, yo, I get it. Of course, it's gonna feel like a shock. It's gonna feel betrayal. Regardless of what happened, it still hurts. But that hurt doesn't enable you to hurt other people. And sometimes people can use that. People can use that as like their excuse to continue doing shitty things. They're not interested in growing, period. They don't have this. They're like, no, I want to stay stuck in my ways pretty much no matter what. Because, hey, no, the problem could never have been with me because I didn't deserve to get cheated on. And it's just like loads and loads of self-defense things. And all I'm asking someone to do sometimes is just like, hey, like, see how you could have contributed to this. And then they take it to like a whole other like, wait, are you saying insert this, this, and this? I'm like, no, just see how you contributed to this. I'm not saying you caused your wife necessarily or husband to cheat on you. That is your conclusion. I'm not talking about the shit at all. In fact, my focus isn't actually really on the affair. The affair, or the affair happening or not happening, is like some external concern that is frankly irrelevant when it comes to whether you should be having a growth mindset or not, whether you should be focusing on improving who you are. It's not even about like the relationship. It's just like you personally, just like you as a human being. But a lot of that just gets like goes over people's head, or they just lose sight of that because they're so focused on infidelity. And some people will conclude, and like I'll bring up some examples on Reddit where I've been trying to help people, but like it's very clear that some people just like are really got serious problems when it's when they're not even like doing like it's just hard to put into words for me. But there just isn't that instinct to self-reflect, like at all. There isn't that instinct to be like, wait, I could possibly be wrong. I could have possibly royally fucked it up. I could have been doing things so badly that it's really hard for me to blame my partner for having an affair. That like possibility isn't even considered. I'm like, okay, bro. If you just want to go from, hey, the person who cheated on me is a cheater, there's nothing like, okay, congrats. The person who cheated on you is a cheater, and they're insert fucked up thing you want to think about a cheater, and that's it. I'm like, all right, bro. How does that protect? Okay, so I guess your solution is just leave your partner, right? Like you can do that, but what do you learn? How do you prepare? Like, what do you learn for the future? What do you learn for future relationships? How do you even protect yourself? Do you like know how the affair happened? What signs to look for? And let alone protect yourself from an affair. How about like making sure your relationships aren't just, oh, I just don't want to get cheated on, to, hey, I want to have a happy life with my partner. Thank you, Catman. I appreciate it. Yeah, Catman, these streams are not Neo related. This is just my Saturday coaching streams and just topic. So you don't have to be here, of course. Neo will come back tomorrow. But right, that tendency to not self-reflect in a moment of stress, intense stress, gives me a lot of information about actually, like, I'm even more skeptical about the person who got cheated on as playing the victim. Because just that, like, not growing is just not a good recipe. This isn't to say that, like, and one misunderstanding that I get a lot is that I'm trying to justify an affair. And, like, I'm trying to blame the victim and kick them while they're down. That's just their interpretation, though. I asked them to self-reflect. They interpret that as a threat. I'm like, bro, if you're doing something super shitty, regardless, don't you, like, kind of want to stop doing that to do something good? It's not even about the affair, bro. They're like, no! You want to defend her? Oh my gosh! You want to defend them? Oh my gosh! And I noticed there's a very strong correlation between those who do not self-reflect and those who can become more and more toxic over time. Because it's not like anybody is perfect. If you're perfect, I suppose you don't need to grow. But no one's perfect. I'm not perfect by any means. We all have problems. We all have flaws. We're not like living on cloud nine and everything's going perfectly forever. And we're treating everyone perfectly. There's no misunderstandings. There's no mistakes. There's nothing. Like, it's... But some of these people will act like it. And I'm like, bro, if you don't even self-reflect, how can you even get better? How can you even make sure you have strategies for the future that will not only prevent pain, but also bring you happiness? Even from a more selfish perspective, if you're not fixing the trust issue, maybe just get out of the relationship instead of keep sticking the woman you longer trust. Yeah, and that's obviously one avenue. And usually that's what ends up happening. People will, if they will conclude, hey, the reason is just because my partner is a cheater, then usually the avenue is just straight up to leave. Right? Usually. In some cases, this is fine. Like, I know, like, I've worked with clients and, like, I understand why they're gonna continue to have an affair on their, like, okay, I'll give you a story. So it's like one of my male clients, um, his wife wanted to leave him, and he just like speculated she's cheating on him. He doesn't have any hard data, but he uses that as an excuse to be like, well, I think I've talked about this guy where he's like, well, I didn't technically have an affair or cheat on my wife. I just had sex with other women. And I'm like, wait, are you here? What? You had sex with other women, but it wasn't cheating. Like, what? What's this? What's going on here? And I'm like, okay, this guy is in denial very clearly. And from like my time I've worked with him, I'm like, all right, bro, this guy has some serious personal issues. His wife is leaving him, and instead of him being like looking at himself and understanding what cost him to betray the marriage many times, he's just being like, no, well, the reason I didn't have the reason why I cheated on my wife is because of her. I'm like, okay, dude. Your wife's leaving you and you're blaming her for your choice to have an affair rather than taking ownership of, hey, the reason you cheated is because you are like dude, like just the amount of denial. And then he's like, well, I can't get my wife back, so I'm gonna leave her, and because I need to pursue my desire for sex. And I'm like, okay, bro, you're gonna throw in the towel for your own marriage and your two kids because you can't get laid because okay, because you can't get laid after the fact that like you admittedly say, hey, I was super toxic to my wife. Like, okay, you did shitty things for such a long period of time. Your wife is broken. Your wife like wants to leave you, and then because she isn't coming back to you, then you decide, hey, I'm gonna go like flirt and date other women. I'm like, okay, this is very clear. Like, I understand his wife's perspective of being like, I'm just gonna leave. The problem is with him. But the curious thing is, even though she was the victim that like very sympathetic in this case, I could tell from how this client was describing her. I'm like, okay, I can tell she's trying to grow. She's trying to do the stuff like find herself. Which is trying to build up her own identity. She doesn't know who she is because a lot of that was defined by her, I'm guessing now, ex-husband. And she's focused on like how she can learn. She was stuck in a codependent state, and then she's like, what can I learn to grow? She's already in this camp, so I'm like, all right, I'm sure she'll be fine. But the guy was not in a growth mindset. He was stuck in denial. So of course, after his wife recognized, like, bro, okay, yes, there's a lot of problems for why my husband cheated on me. But let me think about it and try to understand how I could have fucked it up. Maybe there's something I did that pushed him in that direction. Maybe not directly, but indirectly, somehow. I don't know. But let me figure that out. And then more and more over time, after repeated interactions with him, and this is like over years, she's like, fuck this, I'm out. No point. So she left without a second thought. But she did that after, from what I understand in talking with this guy, with my former client, that she couldn't grow with him. There's no point. It's not possible to mend the marriage. That's one option that can if someone has a growth mindset and, you know, they're steadily becoming more healthier over time with how they address stress, with how they address conflicts and things like that, with someone that they are, you know, they trust and love, they have a growth mindset to such a huge stressor such as infidelity. In my opinion, they're going to be in good shape no matter what. They are more suited to making healthier decisions. Whether that, like, so in her case, she's like, well, I'm going to leave, but I'm not going to leave with a sense of bitterness. I'm not going to leave with a sense of resentment, just like acceptance of like, yeah, I can do everything I want. I can do anything. I can try everything that I can. And I've given this guy so many chances, but it's not going to work. And I can see why. But the flip side, I can take what I've learned into a new relationship and I'm going to be totally happy. It's a win because they've grown from the experience. So that's like one situation in which, hey, it is like reasonable to just leave. People would totally understand. But it's harder when, for many of my clients who have been cheated on, they'll reject the growth mindset because they will be convinced sometimes that their way of seeing or doing things is perfect. They will refuse to look within. They will refuse to self-reflect at all. So, as Chicken Burrito said before, they will miss out on things that were actually pretty problematic. So, I'll just take, let me see if I can get, here, I'll try to see if I can get some comments. So here, divorced men subreddit, because I happen to notice this lack of like self-reflection more often on male subreddits, like divorced men, compared to just divorce at large or divorced women. In general, when I look at, like, I don't participate that often in divorced women because for the most part, like most of them, they're pretty good and supportive to one another from my estimation. So I just picked out this random post from, say, oh, like, I guess it came out a day ago. I haven't read this, but let me bring it up. So let's see if I can detect what I can detect here. I don't actually know what to expect. My wife has been cheating on me for the last 3 months. Obviously, that's painful. We've been in a tough spot the last 1.5 years for a 21-year marriage. And I'm like, dude, a year and a half? That's like, if I have a serious situation with Cass today, I'm like, that's a long time. For me, like, a day is too much with Cass. I'm like, bro, if we have problems, I'm like, I'm trying to fix that shit like yesterday. But a tough spot for 1.5 years, I'm like, bro, what you doing? Hello? Hello, what you doing? So he says, I had some financial issues that entailed inheriting money that I didn't give full access to her. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but this doesn't really sound good. Also hid a small account. Okay, so he lied. He's keeping secrets. Oh, great for building trust, bro. She's been smoking weed a lot, not doing chores, works 15 hours a week while I work 50 plus. Okay, why is this relevant? What are we trying to communicate here? I don't know. My guess is he's implying, like, she's checked out. She doesn't do much. Look at how hard I work. That's my guess. I could be wrong, though. Life has been tough. My dad died last year. Sorry about that, of course. I lost my job, which sucks, and had to get a new one. And in the midst, I turned into a bitter person. Okay. Were you bitter at your wife, bro? For a year and a half? Come on, bro. This is how she's justifying her infidelity, which is valid. I wasn't filling her cup. She wanted to uncouple and said so, though not separate, and then she started hooking up with a guy. It sucks. Yeah, I get it. I can see well I fell short with my issues, and she takes accountability for hers. She admits she made a choice and now has to face the consequences. Dude, notice the difference here from what he's saying about his wife. She's like, yeah, I cheated. I gotta deal with the consequences. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, this person's admitted to having an affair and accepting the consequences. That's acceptance rather than denial. Which is interesting. This person makes a mistake, they recognize the mistake, accepts the consequences of their actions. I anticipate that this woman, even though she cheated on her husband of 20 years, I anticipate this person is more in a growth mindset. Coming clean for doing something this grave is not exactly easy, but it takes a bunch of humility. So this guy, like, okay, so how do we separate when we have two kids, can't afford to live on our own? We have to sell our house, okay? I have no desires to do a nasty divorce. We love our kids, still love each other, but I don't think there's a pathway after all this for reconciliation. Yeah, obviously he doesn't think so. But I don't know what he wants. I don't actually think this is the best post. She wants to do couples therapy to talk about exit. Who's been in this space? How did you go about this? We want to end peacefully. So, okay. So he's going down the divorce route, right? So, what can I get? This guy is calling it quits, which is fine. He can do that all that he wants. But what's he gonna learn? Is my question. Oh well, she cheated on me. Time to go. Yeah, you had faults here. Yeah, I had faults there. Okay, I'm like, you gonna do anything about it? I don't get that impression. No, I'm curious about what the comments are. Sorry to say this, but if she truly loved you, she would have at least try to reconcile, not go straight to divorce. And then insert whatever projection. Let's see if OP responded. This is interesting. Makes sense. You're breaking your back trying to keep your life on an even keel is completely out of order. No wonder your wife decided to slut it up. She's gaslighting you hard, man. It's never their fault. Surely 21 years of marriage taught you that. Lawyer up. Ditch this piece of trash from your life and everything you deserve, mate. 12 upvotes. Like, this is the type of shit that gets upvoted the most. They conveniently ignore the fact where she's like, I made a choice and I have to deal with the consequences. They're like, oh, she said this is why she cheated on you. Okay, he kept secrets, which doesn't help. I'm not saying that directly causes an affair. My curiosity is, why is she like this? Not from a place of judgment. But what would cause her to throw in the towel for a 20-year marriage with kids? And what would convince her to go? So this is me trying to like be in the guy's position who got cheated on. My thinking would be like, not so much, oh, she cheated, marriage is over. That's something I'm going to conclude very late. It's going to be, yo, what made my wife go through this affair in the first place? Like, how did it get so fucking bad that she went to, I guess, betray a marriage of 20 years? Like, what the fuck happened? What were the problems? What were the various problems? How do we go from freaking A to Z like this? I got no idea. I don't know. It's very vague. It's pretty clear to me that this guy has no fucking clue why she actually cheated. It's like, yeah, it's valid. I wasn't filling her cup. I'm like, what are the specifics? Like, I don't know. I mean, being a bitter person for a whole year, I'm like, that's pretty bad. I don't want to be bitter to Cass, for example, like at all. But I don't know. I don't know what this guy's gonna really learn. It's not very clear. But with comments like, hey man, she's a piece of trash, I'm like, bro, you're gonna look at your like just think about the implications here of what you are saying. You're saying someone you were with for 20 years is nothing more than trash. This guy isn't OP by any means. But like, yo, dude, call it like, can you imagine telling somebody that you loved for 20 years, had children with, to consider them trash? Oh, you did something that made me feel hurt. And because of that, now you are trash. Let me ditch you. And then you've got like, yeah, in a custody battle, go for the throat. I'm like, yo, this sounds pretty inhumane. And then I'm sure they'll be like, well, cheating on me was inhumane too. Oh my gosh, man, you were breaking your back or whatever. I'm like, dude, I'm pretty sure your wife fucking saw that you were working 55 hours a day. Like, like just the thought that someone like it just shows when I see comments like this, it reveals a lot. It reveals a lot about the individual because for someone to just immediately conclude the other person is trash is just awful. Considering a loved one piece of trash. Like, dude, how do you like I'm just so flabbergasted, to be honest. The guy who didn't really think about the reason behind it might think it's A to B instead of A to Z. Yeah. And that relates to this whole thing about, oh, someone cheated on me. Why? Because they're like I say, it's a symptom of bigger problems, but they'll just like beeline it from infidelity. Oh, they're a cheater. Leave. Like that's it. It's like, oh, here's all these super shitty things to say. Just leave. She cheated on you because she sucks. She just leave. Like it's just so, it's so callous. Even my client who is in denial, who like cheated on his wife multiple times, I'm not going to dehumanize him. I'm not going to say, yeah, man, you're a piece of trash. Especially if I'm trying to work things out with him. If I don't like give a flying fuck about him, which obviously isn't the case, I do care for my clients. But if I like do not care and if I like hate somebody, then sure, then I'll call them a piece of trash. But to communicate a message of hate to someone I love, if that isn't sending a red flag to the individual, then that's a problem. And I try to help them recognize that there's a problem. And even if the woman is really a bitch, but you started to stick with a bitch 20 years and have kids with her, doesn't that make you a piece of shit too? I won't necessarily conclude that, because there is, of course, a flip situation where it is like, for example, my male client, I won't say that the individual, the victim, is necessarily like a piece of shit. It just means, all it means is that they need to self-reflect. Like if you, for example, are sticking with an abuser for that goddamn long, let's just say it's a stereotypical cheater, abuser, whatever. All right. If you stick with that person for that long and the same patterns keep happening, it's like, yo, something has to change. Something's got to change. If you find, like, get out, for example, would be a thing. Get out of that situation. Change what you do, how you think. Grow from the experience. That's my whole point. Grow from the experience. That's it. Become healthier. Become, like, happier. Learn to, like... Like, it's not complicated. If you keep facing the same patterns, figure out what you can do to change things within yourself and the environment. If that environment, if after you change yourself and your environment, things do not get better with the other party, then fucking leave. But that's after the growth. But with individuals like this, for example, I don't get the sense that they are going to try to grow at all. I mean, just like such bitter like resentment and hatred. Oh, go for the throat. I'm like, bro, I don't want to fight my loved ones. Who is this person? I'm curious. Ah, of course, hidden. Of course. I make my shit public now. I'm like, go ahead, scrutinize it, whatever. Yeah, Reddit 101. What is this advice? Just keep being a cock is cheaper? What? What? Calling her a witch. Ah, yes. Very healthy. Oh. Let's see, what else can I find? How do y'all deal with betrayal? Let me see if I can find it fair. Oh, that's a different one. Anyway, I'm just gonna go down a rabbit hole with this. But the thing is, like, that tendency to not self-reflect is already going to be a death sentence, not even just for marriages, but for life in general. Like, think about it if we were playing Neo, and if I kept, like, dying to a boss over and over and over again, I'm sure you guys know if people are like, oh man, this game's bullshit. Game's bad. Game's garbage. This game is designed to blah, 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 blah. And just, like, keep pointing the finger at Neo, and I'm usually just like, all right, bro. You have such a huge problem with the game. Let me show you how it's done. And then they're like, well, and then they gotta kind of see like, oh, maybe, you get humble sauced. Nuri Botege's grab his BS. Yeah, exactly. He's grabbing his bullshit. Okay, that might be the exception. um, but right, so like in Neo, for example, what I will do when I'm faced with a stressful situation is rather than saying, in general, it's pretty rare for me to assume, oh, hey, the game is being garbage here. Sometimes it will be the case, but that's not my default. My default is like, yo, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Pretty much every fucking time. And you'll see me like say or diagnose like, oh shit, I pressed the wrong button here. Fuck, I did that. Fuck, I did this. Okay, let me try to figure out why that happened or what I did there. I'm looking within. Shinpachi is a trash spammer. I mean, he kind of is. Groundquake and Thunderbolt. Can I still beat him? Yes. I can still beat him despite that. I just don't enjoy it, so I don't like do that mission. And so there's that difference. Okay, total. Oh, are the ads not showing up? Oh, there's like an ad for like cat shirts. I kind of got distracted there. So, oh, actually, I do want to find something. Hold on. I'll find some comments which are very intriguing for me. I'll find one. I don't want to get to another one that was like a whole argument and just stressful to deal with. All right. So some guys just like, oh, I found out potentially had like an affair or something, I guess, right? So what do I do? How do I handle this, right? I'm like, kind of depends what you want. Do you want to repair it? Do you want a divorce? There's nothing to repair. You're posting that crap on every thread. She fucked another man. It's over. Yeah, okay, bro. But an affair doesn't mean the end of a marriage. Mayo Clinic. What are their references? Oh, look. Online infidelity. We've got associations. We've got organizations that deal with this shit. A journal of sexual medicine. Motivations for extradiatic invalidity, like a journal of sex research. New strategies in assessing, treating, and relapse prevention of extramarital affairs. Like, this is like scientifically done shit. You got some random Joe Schmo who's like, no, it's impossible. Oh my god. I'm like, okay, bro. But that like refusal to even consider and a possibility of it perhaps working out is already like death sentence. It's that refusal to learn, to like actually educate. Yeah, I'll bring up like the other. I might as well bring up the other thread. How is it this guy? Probably somebody else. I don't know. But yeah, so let's go through. I'm gonna go through this Mayo Clinic article rather than going through the Reddit thing. This is from Mayo Clinic. If you're not familiar with Mayo Clinic, in my opinion, they're overall pretty like reputable, pretty safe organization for like health things. I mean, it's like a hospital, pretty well known, good reputation from what I know. So here's why they say affairs happen: lack of affection, lack of fondness, love and care for each other, weak commitment to the relationship, obviously possible, breakdown of communication about needs, yeah, low self-esteem, yes, I'm sure, health issues can contribute to it, and addiction, yeah, problems that aren't addressed in a marriage, major life changes, stressful periods. All right, these are what they say. I think it's kind of vague. Right. So here's some advice that they give. It's not like the most pointed for individuals, but it works. But here's some things to pay attention to. When an affair is revealed, it often triggers powerful emotions for both partners. The partner who has been cheated on might feel traumatized by the betrayal and of trust and loss of emotional safety. And I talk about trust and emotional safety a lot. The partner that had an affair might fear they'll never be forgiven. When an affair is first discovered, it can be clearly hard to think enough to make long-term decisions. Consider taking the following steps. The growth mindset, by the way, is in support of long-term decisions. How can you grow from the experience rather than, oh my gosh, I get cheated and or whatever, and I'm just like, fuck this bitch or whatever, I'm out. Don't make rash decisions. If you think you might hurt yourself or someone else, seek help from a medical professional right away. Give each other space. The discovery of an affair can be intense. As you try to grasp what has happened, you might find yourself acting in unpredictable ways or doing things you usually wouldn't. Give yourself and your partner some time. Try to avoid emotionally charged discussions as you begin the healing process. Now, this is vague, and I know how it's done more specifically because I work on this with my clients and I practice this type of stuff myself. But this is like the norm. Oh gosh, they're gonna like, my partner's gonna flip the fuck out type of thing. It can help to share your experience and feelings with trusted friends or loved ones who support and encourage you. Avoid people who tend to be judgmental, critical, or biased. What's Reddit if not, what's that divorced men subreddit if not judgmental, critical, or biased? Take your time. Even though you might have a deep desire to understand what has happened, don't go into the intimate details right away. I would slightly disagree, but I understand why they will say this. Doing so without the guidance of a professional such as a marriage counselor might be harmful. Yeah. So I think I understand the nature of why Mayo Clinic is giving this advice, because the typical person is not going to know how to repair an affair. On average. I do not think they would. Those who go through affairs usually like being able to repair a marriage can be very difficult without knowing how to do it, like just blindly. Especially, let me put it this way, there's a reason why I have a job. Okay, wanting to understand, and just to be clear, wanting to understand why the affair happened is great. Of course, I would encourage people to try to understand that. It's just the manner in which they try to understand things that can be problematic. So for example, if it's like, oh hey, my wife cheated on me, I want all the details about everything about the affair. It's like, well, what if the wife isn't comfortable talking to you about it? Are you gonna force her to tell you? If so, that will be harmful. Or let's say you find out all the intimate details about the affair, and let's say it flares up some suicidal tendency in you. Yeah, that's a bit problematic. So naturally, they're going to say, hey, have guidance of a professional. Now notice how this hospital is saying recovering from an affair can be one of the most challenging times in a marriage. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. This challenge may come with mixed feelings and uncertainty, but as spouses rebuild trust, take responsibility for their actions, resolve conflicts, and forgive, the process may deepen and strengthen love and affection. Yes. This is my experience as well with my clients, and while Cass never cheated on me, this is our experience over time. It's, yes, what do? I take responsibility for my own actions through self-reflection, where I realize, holy fuck, I was so emotionally abusive. I say that not because she says so, but because I realized it. I'm like, yo, I did terrible things. I'm like, yo, that's pretty bad. So I focus on resolving conflicts with her, taking ownership of my stuff, and over time we get closer. We're not like romantic or anything, but in her words, as of yesterday, we're making amends over time. We're having more fun. We're playing Path of Exile 2 together. Consider these steps to promote healing. Don't, and here's some things that, for example, that Reddit thread just like completely ignored. This is why like getting unqualified advice and unqualified help is just so fucking like bad. Here we've got, hey, don't decide right away. Before choosing to continue or end a marriage, take the time to heal and understand what was behind the affair. It's literally the first thing I say. I'm like, before concluding whether you stay or leave, let's try to understand what the fuck happened. Be accountable. If you were the one who cheated, take responsibility for your actions. End the affair and stop all contact. Like, okay, sure. This is for, I guess, the person who had the affair. But I'm saying, even if you're the victim, see if you can find ways to, things you can take accountability for. Like, honest, I'm not saying like take accountability for other people's actions. I'm saying for your own. If you do something bad and you know it's bad, take responsibility for that and change that shit. This person, whoever wrote this article is basically saying, hey, if you did something bad, take responsibility for it and stop doing that shit. Same thing for like anybody. You do something bad, take accountability for it, fix it, and do better. Consult a marriage counselor. Seek help from a therapist who's trained in this, of course. This can help people get a little bit of an objective sense. And usually people who are going for marriage counselors together after an affair, like they're still trying to work things out, which makes it a lot easier naturally. I work with the people where they don't have this option anymore. Seek support from non-judgmental, understanding friends or family members. Yeah. Right, Chicken Burrito. Don't focus on things that are out of your control. So yeah, do not manipulate your wife. Obviously, if you're being manipulative, no. I have no sympathy for you. I don't give a fuck. Manipulation's off the table. So you got spiritual leaders. If they have training, reading about the topic can be useful. Not all self-help books are equally helpful, correct? Ask a professional for reading recommendations. Restore trust. Make a plan to restore trust that may lead to reconciliation. Agree on a timeline and process. If you were unfaithful, do this. If your partner was unfaithful, offer forgiveness when you're able. So I think a lot of the advice here works, but I think it still kind of harbors a little bit of a black and white type thinking, because I can imagine someone saying, who's been a victim of infidelity, to spin this the wrong way, which is what happens with men on divorce subreddits. But yeah, an affair doesn't have to mean the end of a marriage. No, it doesn't. Will it be challenging to work through? Yes. But is it possible? Yes. I freaking help some of my clients reconcile post-divorce and post-affairs. It becomes a non-issue. Obviously, for the guy who gets cheated on, for example, are they going to be afraid to trust their partner? Yes, of course. I don't blame them for like, I don't trust my partner. I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, you got cheated on. Of course you're not going to trust them. What I do have a concern about, though, is that person's tendencies, their own behaviors, which are toxic. And I'm like, yo, no matter what you do, that is just not good for you for the future. Now, if you're going to use, hey, I got cheated on as an excuse to keep doing shitty things, well, then, like, dude, it's really not that much of a surprise that your partner would not feel close with you when like, you are confronted about your own shit and then you just stay stuck in denial. And for you to do this now as your default is just showing me a lot of tendencies that have probably been overlooked. To not even ask, like, oh fuck, like, why did you cheat on me? Like, what did I do that was so bad? To not even really consider that. To assume that, hey, I'm perfect, bro. No, I don't have any problems in me. I don't have any real problems that really warrant it. This is unjustified. To not even question it is a red flag. Worst case scenario, like, if you go through the process of questioning yourself for the purpose of growing, just for changing for the sake of change, though, here's what you will lose something. That something will be time. In the case of my male clients, I'm assuming now ex-wife, she lost a lot of time. Unfortunately, too much time, I would say, in her case. I would have probably have argued with her if she happened to be my client, and I would learn a lot of things about her husband. I would have thought, like, okay, so you've grown a lot. I can see you've grown a lot. You've become a lot healthier. The way you interact with them is great. but your partner is not refusing to grow, is refusing to grow at all, okay, I think you're better off somewhere else. But that comes with time. I think she gave her husband too much time. So she may have like suffered a blow to her ego, being like, oh shit, did I actually do stuff that could have caused this? But then at the end of it, I'm sure she was like, I'm not the problem, buddy. I'm good to go. The moment I get out of here and pursue other parts of my life, I'm good. I mean, I wish best for my ex, but um, I'm good. So worst case scenario, the person just loses a bit of time, but gains complete peace of mind. But if you don't look within, and if you happen to have toxic tendencies which could drive anybody away, and if you don't even investigate them, then in my view, for future relationships, you risk a lot. I'll give you an example of somebody I know. I've talked about this guy before. He has been with 100 women. I don't think he's in a long-term, I think the longest long-term relationship he's ever been in has been like a year and a half or something. And he never really properly investigated his own flaws at all. And the type of shit he says, I'm just like, bro, you're not even investigating this shit. Like, what the fuck? Said stuff like, all women are sex objects. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And he's like, oh man, I said it as a joke. I'm like, how the fuck is that supposed to be funny? I'm like, bro, you're not even flagging this shit. And there were so many, like, that's just one thing. Or like he said, yeah, I had sex with this woman, but I don't even really like her. Like, I kind of hate her. I'm like, what? Doesn't that strike you as weird? What? It's like, oh, well, you know, for like the longest relationship where he got dumped, and I think he got cheated on. It was like, I came to learn he pressured her into a threesome. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What? Yo, I like legit, like, are you fucking serious? So I'm just like still dumbfounded at this because it's just such a shock. So he has all these negative views about women, very jaded views about women, very unhealthy views about relationships. And he keeps experiencing failure after failure after failure. And not once does he really look at like, hey, maybe I'm doing some really fucked up shit that I need to change. Now, what I've seen him do is be like, oh man, I guess things are really hopeless for me after all. I guess there's no way I can get married or something, man. And like he questions, he's not even questioning his behaviors. He's going from concluding things, he's questioning things about like himself, his identity, his sense of worth, his self-esteem. I'm like, just like his really his sense of self-worth. I'm like, no, bro. The problem isn't like, oh, the innocent boy you are on the inside type of shit. It's you do this fucked up shit. And you don't just do it with women, you've done it with me, man. You do it with me. I get why women do not want to be around you. Like, I fucking get it. I'm like, bro, stop. This shit has to change. This behavior you're doing's got to change. Otherwise, like, unless you're comfortable living out this life, like, okay, fine, don't investigate your behaviors. But then so that refusal to even look within about, hey, what are the behaviors I'm doing? Are they actually good? That inability, I don't want to say inability, but that choice to not look at, hey, maybe my behaviors are bad, totally is fucking him over. Totally fucking him over. Like, yeah, man, you'd say some pretty wacky shit. Pretty misogynistic stuff, too. Oh no, why doesn't a woman like you? Well, gee, I don't know. You think all women are sex objects. Right, be a fucked up guy, you get fucked up relationships. Pretty much. Wow. So what I try to help people do is become healthy people. So they get healthy relationships. And part of that is, hey, having the growth mindset. If you have a growth mindset and you're willing to grow through things, guess what? People who also want to grow on things will be happy to join you. Someone who's like, yeah, I don't want things to stay stagnant and shitty. I want things to keep getting better and better and better. Yeah, I'm in it for the long haul too. Great, let's build a life together. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got problems together? Let's figure it out as a team. Because we want to grow together. I'm like, yeah, it's easy shit that way. So I just see so often that one of the biggest symptoms, one of the bigger problems in a relationship is not so much the affair. The affair obviously is like serious, but to me it is ultimately a symptom of bigger problems. And what we can do in those situations is to figure out how to grow from the experience in a healthier way, not with bitterness, not with resentment. I've been fucked over in my life. I've talked about my family pretty openly. I don't get along with them at all. I don't hate them. I'm like, whatever anger, resentment I've had towards them, like, it's pointless for me to hold on to. Like, what's it gonna accomplish? Okay, I could, one, throw it back at them, but what am I really hoping for by doing that? Oh, that they'll change and be nicer to me. Okay, will that work? No. One, it won't work. And second, is that really how I want to live my life? Hey, to get someone to be nice to me, I'd be mean to them. Nah, I don't. I don't want to live that way. So nah, I'm not doing that. And while I don't get along with them, I don't speak to them, it doesn't take up much of my brain space. Like, it still does, but it's not like significant. It's not like running my life. I don't have like this jaded, warped view about families. I'm like, nah, I think it's just my family, bro. I think it's just my family dynamics. And even if they do things that I consider very hurtful towards me, I'm like, well, I feel sorry for them. I feel bad for them on some level. I don't feed the fire. I'm just like, I just don't want to be a part of this. Like, if you hate someone but you're not planning to ruin their life, maybe use that energy doing something more constructive. Pretty much. Pretty much. Rather than me feeding like this fire of hatred, which I don't even want to for my own life, I'm like, I just want to build a happy one. You know, I want to be like, you know this from the Discord, but I have that whole cat sub channel. I'm like, yeah, I just want to see like cat photos and cat things and cute cats and relax like the cat and the sun and chill. Like, that's it. And play video games and help other people and enjoy snacks. Sounds like a good life. Just live comfortably. I'm like, that's really all I want to do. That's it. I don't want to spend my time bickering and arguing and fighting. It sucks. I just want to have fun. So I'll go in that direction. My efforts are towards building that with those that I care for, that I trust, and so on. You're more of a dog person? Oh, dogs are adorable too. Do you love cats as well? Yeah. Dogs are adorable. Oh my gosh. I've been watching, there's just like one of the YouTube shorts of this channel where I think they put like a camera in a dog's mouth or something and it like gets the zoomies as it runs everywhere. And it's just like so sweet and innocent to see all these puppies getting belly rubs. I'm like, how adorable. To see just like how excited they are, how expressive they are. I'm like, yeah, that's good shit. I want more of that. That's fun stuff. So I'm just focused on growing that and nurturing that, not like fighting people. So because of that, because that is my ultimate interests, I'm gonna do things which support that, which involve growth, which involve me healing whatever wounds I have that might make me do things I don't like doing. That, if anything, help me align more with who I want to be. If I got cheated on, the first question I'm going to ask is like, well, why? What happened? Like, I want to know what happened. Like, why did you, like, what made you cheat on me? What did I fuck up? Because my goal is less about the affair, to be honest. It's like, well, I mean, I'm blameless? Like, no, I'm like, you couldn't even talk, like, my partner couldn't talk to me about this or thoughts about this or problems about this. I'm like, I'm finding about this affair out of nowhere. Like where did I fuck up? I mean, like if he or she couldn't talk to me about this before doing this, there's probably a lot of fucking problems. Let me at least try to understand what the hell is going on. So I'm, as per like the Mayo Clinic article, I'm not trying to make rash decisions. I'm trying to understand just what the hell happened. Before choosing to continue or end a marriage, take the time to heal and understand what was behind the affair. That's my goal. What am I going to do? I'm going to try to be accountable for anything I did, even if I'm the victim of the affair. Whatever. I will get assistance for any problems I have. I don't know, man, I just don't get the feeling from you anymore. If something like that is stated, I'm going to try to understand, okay, let me figure out what's going on and why. What do you mean? So with statements like that, which can commonly get expressed, what can happen from men is that they'll ask, what do you mean? But not from a genuine place of curiosity, but to just almost say that sounds absurd. And be like, well, that doesn't make sense. You just betrayed our marriage or whatever. In my mind, if someone's saying, I don't get the feeling from you anymore, so I decided to cheat on you, I'm like, wait, there's a lot of things that are missing that I just like do not fucking understand about that. I'm like, going against having an affair is a serious thing. So in my mind, there has to be serious reasoning behind it. Like, I kind of want to know. And especially if I did things to contribute to that. I'm like, that's serious. Like, let's think about it. If my partner in this scenario just doesn't get the feeling from me anymore, I'm like, wait. In my mind, I'm like, wait, I love this person. And I thought I was doing everything. I thought I was doing the best I could for her. But clearly, like, my best is not creating the outcome that I desired. So what am I missing here? What is the missing piece? What am I lacking? I would want to know that. If someone, and I can tell if someone's not comfortable with, like, there's a lot of things in which that person's response would give me a lot of information. So if that person isn't comfortable telling me, I would think like, okay, whoa, someone does not feel, where is it? Where do they put it here? Okay, here we go. Someone doesn't trust me enough. Someone doesn't feel emotionally safe enough. And as you're saying, Chicken Burrito, I can imagine the reason can either be the girl doesn't want to lay out the exact reason because the guy might melt down. Yeah, so she doesn't feel comfortable doing so, or she really didn't think much of cheating. Those are possibilities. But then I'm going to be concerned, like, wait, if we've been married for, as that guy was, like 20 plus years and you didn't think much of it cheating, I'm like, wait, now I'm even more confused. This seems, I'm like, wait a minute. I chose you because I think all sorts of amazing things about you and like I loved you. But now for you to do something that doesn't add up, I'm more concerned because, and like, no one in their right mind is going to toss away a good 20-year marriage. So either the marriage wasn't good or there's a problem with you, but either way, I still want to find out. And I'm not going to think, oh, it's a problem with you. I'm like, I'm going to first see, was there a problem with me? Was there something that I did? I don't know. But I still have that instinct to try to understand just what happened. I'm not going to conclude, oh, someone just threw away a 20-year marriage, a 20-year blissful, happy, perfect marriage just to get sex with some random person. I'm like, that would be incredibly, like, a pretty shitty thing for me to conclude. Is it possible? I suppose. But I'm going to conclude that last. My first instinct is going to be like, well, let me double check to see where I fucked it up. And this is for long-term relationships, by the way. I don't usually focus so much on short-term relationships. I know Oniryu was mentioning that, and I know Oniryu, you're like 18. So you were saying personally, if she cheats, unless it was just a date or just a kiss, maybe I try to repair anything farther than I'm done. And again, like for, and just to be clear, for short-term relationships, when like you haven't known each other for a long time and then someone cheats on you, assuming you haven't done anything shitty, it's like, well, probably just leave. All right. I'm talking about like years and decades. Like my clients are like, one of the clients I worked with is in her 60s. And it's like they have multiple adult children, stuff like that. Or that former male client, like he has 2 sons. You know, like kids involved, like these are like the big, super serious like marriages. Not like, oh, hey, I was dating somebody for like 3 days and then let me say this again. Lost my train of thought. So it's not like, oh, hey, I was dating somebody for 3 days and we went on a first date, everything was nice, and then she like goes and everything was good and it seemed really exciting, and then like I find out like the next day when we're gonna go on our second date, she's like, yeah, and I'm like, I had sex with somebody else. I'd be like, okay, like what? All right, well, if thanks for letting me know, but we don't really know each other. Feel free to go to that other person, but I'm not interested anymore. When I think long term, I start thinking like at least a year. Like it takes like getting to know someone after a long period of time. I'm not talking about like short term. Short term, if someone cheats on you, I'm just like, well, it's short term. May not be your problem unless you're like that fucking bad. Most no-brainer reason a guy can come up with is they got face or chicken mogged. Chicken mogged. I like how you're replacing the word cock with chicken. That's my assumption. I find chicken mogged even better. That's even funnier to me. I'm not going to say cock blocked anymore. I'm going to say chicken blocked and let people connect the dots. Right, chicken burrito. You would say, I doubt that be the reason after decades. Yeah. Unfortunately, some people will go with the no-brainer reason and basically imply their partner is just like some depraved animal or something. with like no reasoning. Oh, let me see if I can find that. Okay. I actually like see this type of stuff. It's rather disappointing. It's like the script of a Japanese porn. So I was responding to, I think it was the same thread or similar thread, but this person is basically arguing with me, and I don't want to go through this exhaustive thing, but you can look it up if you're really curious. But this person was cherry picking, in my opinion, like statements I said. I was saying, I never claimed. So, okay, this person responding to, I said, I say people who cheat have a reason for doing it, otherwise they wouldn't do it. And then I said, like, and then he's like, no, you're misunderstanding my argument. I'm disputing your statement that their reason is even there, which, like the rest of your claims, backed up with multiple direct quotes from your reply. You seem unwilling. I'm like, whatever. But I think people, like, to me, it's like, hey, a person cheats, they have a reason for it. He's like, no, they don't have a reason for it. I'm like, that's not how human behavior works. No, there's no reason. I'm like, no, people do things for a reason. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. I'm not even saying it's a good reason or something I agree with. He's like, no, what they do makes no objective sense, I think is something he said. It makes no objective sense. Like, okay. I'm like, bro, I'm not really in the habit here of dehumanizing people. People do things for a reason. It may not be a good one, but they do it for a reason. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. And he's like, no, this just means you're trying to justify it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, victims of that deserve to get the affair, whatever. I'm like, ugh. It's like he's literally having a no-brainer like reaction. Like, no, the person like, oh, this person did something without any reason, or they did it with reasons that make, or didn't do it without reason. I'm like, what they do objectively makes no sense. I'm like, no, people have a reason. They have a reason. Like, like I can't even talk to that person who can't even concede that people do things for reasons. He makes an exception for people going through affairs. Even my formal male client who's having an affair or cheats on his wife and justifies his stuff, he has reasons. I don't agree with those reasons, but he has reasons. And I'm thinking, like, this guy in Reddit, I'm like, dude, this is like no brain. It's just like, I had to question, like, is this just rage bait at this point? Unfortunately, it's enough of a trend for me to be concerned about. And it all just goes back to having just that curiosity, that growth mindset in the first place. What can you learn? What can you try to understand? But not even wanting to learn, not even wanting to understand why your wife does what she does is like basically saying, I don't want to get to know her. No reason is so annoying. This reminds me of a stand-up show topic. There's no reason for a man to beat a woman. Sure, I don't think it's good, but how come we can't even ask why? I think in those, like, I can understand the sentiment behind that, but I also understand what you're saying too. And it can be used. That statement, I think the spirit behind it is there's no reason for a man to abuse a woman. I'm like, it's certainly no good reason. It shouldn't be in our default. Could there be some like absolutely whacked up fucked up scenario that's just like super fucked up in which I suppose. But like, I'm thinking like extreme to the fucking extreme, where it's like, well, if the man doesn't beat his wife in front of certain things, then they'll both get killed and executed. And like, he hates doing it. Like, some like weirdly fucked up shit like that. In which I'd be like, there's a lot of other bigger problems than this. But like, that's so like fringe and extreme, probably like 0.0000001% of the time. Something like, I'm just like, no, bro. I think like, just do not abuse. If she ate the dog, I'd be like, jail. But I think statements like that, where it's like, there's no reason for a man to beat a woman. It's like, well, what happens if the man is being physically assaulted and threatened at gunpoint or whatever, and like needs to do self defense? Can he not fight back? And how much is to like, can they fight back? Or what if a guy's getting sexually assaulted by a woman? Can he fight back? I'm like, you should be able to, bro. But I think when it more often than not, what can happen is like, unfortunately, I think the data. So the data. Let me see if I can find some data. Hey, what's up, Kenjin? Right, being a woman beater, no. Being abusive to women, no. Like, it should be a human being's default to be like, maybe I shouldn't go beat fucking people up, beat people up. Hey, I'm a guy and I have a woman. Maybe my default should not be abuse a woman. I'd be like, dude, if that's your default, get the fuck out of here. But often what I notice is that for men, and this is just my experience with other men, to me, they can, because men historically have been in positions of power, they've also abused that power. So it might sound on the surface a bit extreme to you, Chicken Burrito, about like, hey, there's no reason for a man to beat up a woman. And I think for just overall kind of our patriarchal society and culture, I mean, it's pretty much dominated by men. So unfortunately, due to a lot of really shitty men being in power, it would be good for them to think, hey, there's no reason for a man to beat a woman. We need a matriarchy. Probably would be better. Like, not even joking. More often than not, my personal experiences, I'm like, I trust women more than men. Not saying men are shitty, like, a man cannot be good. But I think you do, like, obviously, this isn't to say, hey, if you're a woman, you're magically better. No, like, I think human to human, we're all equal. But structurally, societally, I think, like, yeah, like, overall, I'm sure things would be better with a matriarchy. But is that the point I'm trying to make right now? Not really. I'm not going so much for the, like, while I am personally feminist, that's not what this is about. No, it's cool. Um, oh, you're fine, Kenjin. It's a reasonable tangent. Like, as a default, should I think, hey, there's no good reason for me to beat a woman? Yeah, absolutely. Do not beat women. No fucking shit. Just like, hey, there's no reason to beat a child. I'm like, yeah, probably not a good reason. People can ask the question. Like, it's fine to ask. But usually, in my experience, those who are asking are missing so much information that they'd be like, well, we don't really need to ask. It's more concerning to ask the question, well, is there a justifiable reason to beat a woman? Rather than, hey, should women be getting beat in the first place? Should any sort of corporal punishment be dished out in the first place? It can sometimes lead to, for certain individuals, it can lead to a very slippery slope where they're searching more and more for reasons to beat a woman. And I'm like, bro, that's kind of weird. Because let's go to a crazier topic. Let's just take the same sentence. There is no reason for a man to beat a woman. There is no reason for an adult to molest a child. Sure, I don't think it's good, but how come we can't even ask why? Not saying you're saying that, chicken burrito. If you heard someone saying that, though, and saying, hey, I don't think it's a good thing for an adult to molest a child, but how come we can't even ask why? Where does your brain go immediately? I wouldn't be surprised if you'd be like, bro, is this guy a pedo? Are you like, ew, like, are you fucking crazy? And then imagine if the retort was, well, maybe there's an extreme example. I think it's justified. I'm sure you would be like, okay, bro, that's just fucked up. Like, can we like not go to that deep? Can we not go to that territory? Like, at all? Asking the question in of itself sounds incredibly concerning. Right. The first reaction is, what the fuck? To me, I have the same response too, truth be told, when it's like, hey, look, asking the question about whether there is a justifiable reason for a man to beat a woman in of itself as a premise is very concerning. Could I make the, like, obviously the adult child thing is super fucked up, but the premise of it being a concerning question is still there. A man and a woman are adults, yes, but historically speaking, there's been a power imbalance. So it's not, unfortunately, men and women are not treated equally in society. I've personally experienced this. I believe a lot of data suggests this. I can look some stuff up. Might as well. I typed in male female power. I'm gonna show this to you. Look what I got. Ah, yes. This is exactly what I wanted. I okay. Oh, that's too good. That's too good, bro. Need a little humor every now and again. I may not be able to find a good article. I'll have to take some time. Sorry about that. But children can lie too. The no question asked might have the possibility to ruin an innocent guy's life. Bro, dude. Yes, obviously children could lie. How often? How often would a child lie? Percent wise. How often would a child lie about getting molested by an adult? Let's put a percentage on it. Like, really, how often is a child gonna, like, Think about the biology of a child. Everything to do with a child, all right? How likely are they to comprehend? The chance is pretty small. Let's get specific. Percentage. Put a percentage. How small? Small like 10%, small like 1%. No idea. 1%. Okay. So for you, it's like maybe a 1% chance. Okay. So let's say 1% of all children, for whatever reason, lie about getting sexually assaulted or molested or sexually abused. Okay. For whatever reason. I don't know the statistics on that, but we're going to go with what you think might be the case. 99% of the time, they're not lying. 99%. All right. 99% of the time. If something is 99%, if something has a 99% chance to likely exist, to happen, shouldn't your default just to be not to ask a fucking question? Just your default being like, bro, there is no, like, just believe the child. I'm not saying don't investigate anyway, because law enforcement officials will fact find everything anyway. They'll get all the details that they can. But it's just like, dude, just believe the child 99% of the time. Yes, that's why there's a trial. It's not like, oh, child says this, insert it 100% happened. It's like, based on this, it's highly likely. Let's get a lot of evidence. But it's like, no, like our presumption is to believe the kid. You were investigated? Damn. Like, just believe the kid. Victims of sexual assault, default, believe them. 3 months, goddamn. That is rough. So, chicken burrito, if it's a 1% chance, 35, well, I am so sorry that you dealt with that. And that guy, 35 years for whatever that person did to you, I don't even think will make up for what you went through. I'm glad that person's in prison where he should be for doing that to you. And my hope is that you can rebuild your life so that whatever he did to you is just at best a fart in, it's just a fart in the wind. Right. I would trust the kid by default as well. That's the thing. And that's just where I'm going to operate from. I'm going to trust the kid by default. If I'm an investigator, yeah, they don't believe the kid right away. But there is a lot of information. Like, it's a serious claim. They're going to take it seriously. I'm not going to like it's very, so like asking the question, it's, how can I put this? The problem with the question being asked, Chicken Burrito, is more about the implications of the question. Because the focus is then on, hey, what about the kids who do lie? But the frequency of that is 1%. As just what you're guessing, right? You're just guessing. When really the focus should be on the 99%. If I have to choose between 1% or 99%, I'm going to go with, hey, let me just believe the kid and focus more on that area first. Now, in my experience, at one former counseling center I used to work at, just as like as a receptionist, there was, I think I've told this story before about this female police officer. She had been sexually assaulted as a child. Um, no one believed her. They assumed she was lying. So she gave up and just eventually was just like, well, she stopped fighting. And so she got sexually abused throughout her teenage years. Now, in her line of work, so that inspired her eventually. Fortunately, she got out of it and she's a police officer. A lot of people might think I'm a pedo defender by saying the question. Yeah, because that is a reasoning that people will use. It's the premise of asking the question, which is in and of itself a concern. I'm not saying you're a pedophile defender, but I am saying, though, that the premise of the question is concerning. Now, for this female police officer, she's worked with people who have actually made false claims of sexual assault. She was like, yeah, like in my line of work, there are people who fake it, but the incidence is so low. And what she says, she said that like, yeah, she's like, for me, it was a very soft spot because, you know, I got sexually abused as a kid, and now to think about people lying about it, like adult women or adult men or whoever lying about it, is deeply distressing. But she learned through her time. She's like, look, like, just as a default, like, just believe them 100%. Don't even worry about doubt. Get your facts over time, and you'll start to see when the stories crack. It'll be like blatantly obvious. Something to that effect, if I remember correctly. Just as a default, go with the assumption that, like, yeah, do not, like, there is no good reason for an adult to molest a child. Just like, in the same way, there's no good reason for a man to beat a woman. I'm like, or there's no reason. You can say there's no good reason. Could, like, sure. When people are saying there's no reason, I think what they're really trying to say, there's no good reason. I would just keep it at that. Like, I don't want to get, like, it's, some things can happen. So I can understand when it's like, I'm guessing for you, chicken burritos, it's might be a language thing. So I have issues with language myself. When those in the West are saying there's no reason to do this, what they're saying is what we're really trying to communicate is there's no good reason. In my experience, no good reason. And I think if you focus on that, I think it'll make the question, when I think that would be the way for you to look at it. Because then if you're saying, well, then you can understand, hey, I think it would make more sense. We can agree. There is, I think you and I can agree, there is no good reason to beat a woman, for a man to ever beat a woman. There is no good reason for an adult to ever molest a child. I think you would say, well, yeah, no shit. Duh. Um, yeah, I think you would agree with that. I'd be shocked if you're like, no, there's actually a good reason. Then I'd be like, okay, bro, now I'm getting red flags. But oftentimes people can misunderstand that statement. Like, I think that's what was happening for you. I'm not sure. But those those who are pedo defenders, let me bring one case up. Talked about, I showcased this last time. I'm pretty sure this guy would be like, well, there's a reason to distribute child pornography. What, we can't even ask the question? uh, right, so, yeah, it's Baldy again. So, he would ask questions, probably, like, he would ask questions like that. There is no good reason. And usually for those who are, like, people who are, like, good people, they're only going to do things for good reasons. So for them, it's like, there is no reason to do this. But it's implied that there's no good reason. So if you were to ask the question, the presumption is going to be you're trying to justify bad behavior. Pretty much. So that's what I want to say about that. Chicken burrito, did I understand where you were coming from, though, about your confusion on the question? In Baldy's case, is he got caught, confirmed? Yeah, I mean, they had evidence. So that tips it from 99% certainty to 100%. And we need 100% certainty to make a case. Beyond a reasonable doubt is what they go for in American courts. Presumed innocent before... He's not... He's presumed innocent. I kind of doubt it, but again, I don't know for certain. Obviously, for a court of law, like, if they're going to make a serious conviction, they ought to go for, like, to be very thorough. So, of course, they're going to go do a bunch of interviews and they're going to have a case for something this serious. But I think you would also say it would be ill-advised if it's like, oh, hey, it's possible the kid lied about getting molested, so, you know, the adult that he's accused, let's let them they can interact. I'm sure you'd be like, wait, are you fucking crazy? What if it is actually serious? This is so crazy risky. No, the adult and the child in question are completely separate. Like, completely separate. No interaction at fucking all. No way. No way. Even with Baldy again, as you're saying, right? Let's presume, you know, this guy is actually innocent. Let's just say, for the sake of stupid argument, he's actually innocent. It was all a misunderstanding. What were the conditions of his bond? Let me find that out. Did I just click the same one? I'm sure it'd be very understandable. Okay, he's presumed innocent until found guilty. We're gonna be like, yeah, let's not have contact with minors. Let's not take the risk, bro. Let's not take the fucking risk. It's the same sort of principle. Sure, it's possible he's entirely innocent. But, let's believe let's believe what the data shows. Let's not question, oh, maybe these kids who are lying and they consented. I don't even know how that works. Same sort of thing. Anyway. Hey, Super Saiyan, how's it going, man? I have a specific issue. Can I tell you about it later in the next stream? You can actually tell me about it now if you'd like. I think just to kind of wrap this up, we went from affairs and how it's important to have a growth mindset no matter what, whether you're the victim or anything like that, or how it's just good to have a growth mindset in general. um, to justification, to denial, to, I guess, certain behaviors, certain questions, and then went to a whole tangent about pedophilia. Okay. Yeah, Super Saiyan, you can ask me the question. It's cool. I just think a lot of people tend to jump to conclusions too fast. I doubt men got into this kind of stuff very rarely are innocent. I would agree people jump to the conclusions too fast. For law enforcement officials, they shouldn't be doing that, and they don't, I would hope. Um, but like, in my opinion, if a kid comes to me and says, "Hey, I was sexually molested," or a woman says, "Hey, I got beat by a man," I'm gonna be like, "Okay, I'm gonna believe you." In general, if someone makes a claim, I'm going to trust them. I'll obviously see if I can trust them some more, or if I trust them less. Like in some cases, people online yell the result they want before the investigation are done. That's a different matter. I think if people are actually trying to create that result, that outcome, that is very concerning. If people are just expressing, hey, their frustration, they want justice to be done, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like even in that guy's case where like I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure he's guilty. I don't know for 100% though. Not that I don't want to like see the material like out of fucking all. Like I do not envy the jobs of the people who have to go through all those materials. Oh my gosh. I mean, 7,100 files were found in a search warrant on his devices. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I don't even have 3,000 videos on YouTube over like a span of years, and I post like 30-second clips on occasion to YouTube, just like a bunch of shit. Yeah, that would be traumatizing. So I'm it's not my job. All right. Now I've talked to other people about it and they're like out for blood. And they're like, yeah, get that person killed or they die or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I don't want them to die. I can understand the sentiment behind it, but I'm not gonna advocate like killing somebody. That's a bit much. Should they meet the full force of the justice system? Yeah, totally. I'm like, yeah, dude, if you've been doing this for a long ass time to such a crazy degree, then and like you had a wife and kids, yeah. You should time for you to go under the jail. All right. Like it just like you're out. You're out like pretty much forever. So like I don't have any sympathy for you at all. But I would want the justice system to be I like the idea of public execution, but we need to be extra careful with the investigation then. I can understand the sentiment behind that. I just don't agree with it. Because, right, extra careful with the investigation. To me, the risk in that scenario is permanent. Like, if you fuck it up, you could kill an innocent person. And that is not something that can be recovered from. There is no restitution for that mistake. Person will be dead. At least, even if someone is falsely convicted and is actually innocent, there is still at least a possibility for an appeal. Usually does happen. I've actually looked into the Innocence Project. So, you know, people like I remember meeting a guy back in college who was he was convicted for a crime he didn't commit, a sexual assault. And I remember all like he lost like 20 plus years of his life basically. And I think he was filing a countersuit because he was being supported by the Innocence Project. I think the one thing he's frustrated about was just like how he wasn't frustrated with the woman who uh accused him as much as the district attorney's office, who like it was pretty bad. But I remember one thing he said was like, "Yeah, if you're gonna accuse me, could you just have something more than like?" I think he did this gesture of like, she said, "I think it's him." I don't know. It's like, "I think it's him," and he's like, "It should be more like solid information based on that." But yeah, let me see if I can find the guy. Uh, the Innocence Project. I remember meeting him. Like, let's see, Innocence Project. But yeah, Super Saiyan. If you want to tell me about your issue now, you can. Was it Illinois? Is it Robert Taylor? I don't remember. No, it wasn't that guy. Jerry Miller? Was it this guy? I think it might have been this guy, actually. I think it was this guy, yeah. I remember his name was Jerry Miller. I was taking like a trial advocacy class or something. So, yeah, when the victim was initially questioned by police, she said she was not sure whether she could identify her assailant because he had instructed her to keep her eyes closed or he's going to kill her. She was positively unable to positively identify her. She did tentatively identify him, saying that his facial hair looked different. That's it. I think this was the guy. Yeah, he was exonerated. But yeah, 24 years. Plus 25 years. And I forget if he had a follow up, like, conviction. So yeah, the Innocence Project took his conviction. They did DNA testing and they found somebody else. Yeah, so he lost a lot of life, of course. Right. So I think he was filing a lawsuit because, it's like 25 years, bro. Like he did like what the fuck? You know. So he was of course pretty pissed. All right, well, I guess Super Saiyan you ain't I don't know if you're still here, but you can I can totally wait until the next stream as well. That's fine by me. So obviously like the justice system does fail. But if you just scan that case, you're like there's some things that are kind of fucked up. It's like, wait, she couldn't positively identify him. She's like, I think it's him. I'm like, that's not beyond a reasonable doubt. I think if the public wants the criminal to be dead, then the public needs to have the awareness and the mental preparation of bearing the burden, and they contribute to ending the life of the person. Honestly, like, I don't know, like, what goes into all that. I'm not going to claim to have any authority or expertise on that. I just know for me, the idea of doing something permanent and final like that is, I mean, I know I couldn't do it. I'd rather them just be in prison and just leave it at that. But anyway, in my day-to-day life, I don't usually deal with these types of extreme things, so I don't really think about it. Truth be told, I'm not in charge of policy where I need to think about this. Like, I hope to never be in a situation that involves this, and I'm not really going to spend my time on it, in all honesty. But yeah, I've dabbled in some of this stuff, or at least just curiosities. Right, it's healthier that way. I'm not like thinking about like public executions or pedophilia or domestic violence like on the daily. I'm mostly thinking about maybe I just doom scroll too much. Hey, it's a rabbit hole. For the most part, I'm just thinking about like cats and how can I help people. And maybe will Cass and I play Path of Exile? Or ooh, what do I want for dinner? Oh, I think I want deep dish pizza. Like that's my day to day. Or oh, she's gonna be going to England soon. What will I do in the 2 weeks that she's gone? How did we end up here anyway, bro? I don't even know. You came up with the question. I remember you came up with the question. Like I segued it to pedophilia, but you went to the question of oh, I remember. It was that guy who's like, oh, there's no reason a cheater will cheat, right? They do objectively makes no sense. And then that happened to remind you of a stand-up show topic. And then you're like, there's no reason to beat a woman. And then I got like charged by that. And you're like, in some extreme examples, I think it's justified. I'm like, bro, what if it was like an adult molesting a child? And then just like the crazy discussion about it. And then the convictions of what if it's a 1% chance of a failure? And I'm like, yeah, but you're gonna just like believe the kid by default. Oh well, it is what it is. What a day. What a day. Yeah, we went down the rabbit hole a bit. But yeah, what it like for me, back to the whole affair thing, and I'm gonna try to keep this a little bit more on the brief side. It is just very unfortunate for me to see individuals not even really practice a sense of curiosity, not try to grow from the experience, but just be very quick to demonize the other party as someone who's just like a lying, cheating whore or something. While that certainly could be the case, for long term relationships, I doubt that's the norm. I would, at the very least, just ask what happened and why. Because infidelity in of itself is not a death sentence. It doesn't have to mean the end of a marriage. The conversations with my friends end up a lot like this. Who needs to doom scroll on social media, Chicken Burrito, when you can just doom scroll with me? So, an infidelity is a problem, obviously, but marriages can be rebuilt. Relationships can be reconciled. They can be resolved. And what determines that usually is having an appropriate attitude, appropriate mindsets. We can start for what's for dinner today to having middle age crisis in 20s, right? Oh look, here are those cat shirts that I was talking about. Cool. Anyway, um, so as it says here, when both spouses are committed to healing and rebuilding the relationship, though many marriages survive. In some cases, they may even become stronger with deeper levels of intimacy. I try to help people create this. No matter what the problems are, that both parties can grow through it. One common question that gets asked is like, well, hey, my spouse doesn't want to do this with me, so that means it's kind of over, right? No, not the case. Not necessarily the case. Take my life. Cass divorced me. She didn't give a fuck about this. But I started working on myself in earnest. Change for the sake of change. I started doing more and more of my part. So as I talked about, holding myself accountable for my shit, working through that, growing, becoming a better person, and creating an environment where there is a lot more trust and emotional safety. Build those up over time. And then what can happen is, oh, look, we're slowly. Oh, I was trying to find the quote for it here. Oh, here we go. As I started taking responsibility for my actions, started to resolve conflicts and stuff like that, it got better over time. She didn't reciprocate for like a while, but I didn't care. I was just like, I just want to do my part. I understood why she wouldn't reciprocate, so let me help her. Let me give her what she needs and what she's needed for a while. And then ta-da, she's like, oh my gosh, this guy's like actually doing this legit. Maybe I'll try. Oh wow, it's actually working. This is pretty motivating. Okay, cool. And then it just gets easier and easier and better over time. Ta-da! It's all things considered fairly simple. It just doesn't feel easy. And it's not going to feel easy if you're just going to shortcut to being like, oh, the reason Cass divorced me is because she just gives up on marriages too easily. And she's just insert negative thing about her. Insert bad thing about her. I'm like, yeah, well, with that attitude, you ain't going anywhere. If you're going to continue to think in a manner where you are basically looking at your partner with hatred or disdain, like you're by default, you're not inserting love into your marriage at all or your relationship at all. Like, get fucking serious here. But in the same case, if you do have a growth mindset and you're building all those good things like emotional safety and trust and kindness and so on, good things usually follow. And worst case scenario, if someone is unhealthy for you, you'll know over time. But I don't make that conclusion about who a person is unless I can see, hey, what are they like in a really happy, healthy environment? If I can't even provide that, then I don't really have any business in determining relationship quality yet. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on that. Let's see what other stuff I can scrounge on divorce Reddits. Let's see if I can find a guy. Oh my god, here we go. Rant. Don't even know what this is about. Let's see how many. Oh my god, this guy again. All right, let's take this guy. I recognize this user already. I've tried to help this guy. He's not listening. Did I comment? Yeah, you know it's the same guys. Okay, so for those of you who are unaware, he got cheated on, all right? He got cheated on and now he's officially divorced. He's trying to hate her. Okay, he finds out he got cheated on. So like just investigate this. So the point I'm trying to make is like, bro, this guy needs to look inside himself to try to figure out, yo, you got a shit you need to fix. Like, start fixing it, dude. So here you go. I'm sure from the outside looking, you're like, you would probably say, I don't want to be a moderator. Fuck that. For this. No way. I don't want to be a Reddit mod. I'm sure you'd say like, bro is unhealthy. So, okay. I'm trying to hate her. Like, why are you trying to hate anybody, dude? That's not healthy. Okay, she cheated on you, and some advice would be like, bro, this okay, then be done with it or stop. And then I still care so much for her. I'm trying to hate her. Oh my god. I don't care about anything in my life anymore. Well, I guess I got 2 cats. I don't know. I'm not functioning well. Oh my gosh. How do I deal with this rage? I'm so angry. Oh my gosh. I'm crying. Oh my god. Ah. I will not ruin my life. Anger, hatred, hatred. I hate her. I'm like, dude, you're trying to hate her? Congrats. Now you're hating her. I don't know how to deal with this. I'm killing myself. She's ruining my life. She can laugh with her affair partner. I'm so angry. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm so lonely. I'm crying. I care for her. And it's just like up and down and up and down. I had a panic attack. I'm struggling. Therapists. I'm like, bro, I think I commented. Did I comment on this one? I don't remember. A lot of people give us try to give whatever support they can. Okay. How do I heal from this? Bruh. What is this shit? You're not losing it? No, bro, he's losing it. Someone flipping out like this is losing it. You're grieving. Yeah, you're still losing it. You're getting stronger. Nah, bro. Hey, you're in a what, like, blah, 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 whatever. Gosh, who cares? I'm like, just go to therapy. She's gone, I'm empty. So he's like, oh, I'm dead. All right, I'm losing everything I've accomplished. I don't want to lose my house. Just wish I knew why. Bro, she fucking told you. You just did not listen. Blame me for everything and started bringing up everything I ever did in her 4.5 years of being married. She gave you all the reasons why she's leaving you. Chicken Burrito, I would not encourage you to engage in the subreddit. So for you, you can just... Here's what we can do. Here's what I do. I do not laugh at the individual going through the pain. I do laugh at the fucking behavior, though. I will always make fun of the behavior. 100%. I'd be like, bro, like, look, I'm there to be supportive to you, but can we just laugh at how, like, absurd this is? This behavior. Yes, it is hilarious at the prospect of losing your shit. I am gonna laugh at it. I do laugh at it. I'm like, you gotta be fucking serious. I have empathy for the person, but I do not support the behavior. So only Ryu, you'd laugh at them, which is understandable. I'm sure, like, my therapist has stopped responding to me. I don't think I can afford a therapist without insurance. Okay, if you don't have, like, dude, go, like, get... You don't think or you know? She gives you all these reasons, all right? I'm so, like, she gave you the reasons. She said she was done. She doesn't have the energy to try to fix things. Yeah, of course she's okay losing you. Look at what you do. Blow up, dude. I'm trying to hate her, but I really love her. I'm like, yo, you're like spiraling. She's not someone she doesn't feel comfortable talking to you. Because look at this fucking rage. You got emotional issues, bro. Dude, if someone has emotional issues and I tell them something they don't like, yo, I'm not exactly gonna feel safe communicating. What if people like these suicidal tendencies from what I've understood? And it's like serious concerns. So she probably doesn't want to like hurt him any further. She's just like, boom, you're out. Now here's the irony. He's like, okay, I'm gonna start fixing my stuff. And then she's like, yeah, sorry, it's too late. I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. And then he like reverts back to all this shit. And I'm like, bro, you try to change everything, and then the outcome doesn't go your way, and then you fucking lose your shit again. Dude, she cannot trust you. How do I become okay with myself? What did I say? I'm like, bro, become someone you'd be happy to be. He knows these answers. She said so. He's just like blind to it. Spiraling today, even months into it. I'm like, bro, you need to like start figuring this shit out. How do I forget her and let myself move on? 5 years together for 11. You know, no wonder she doesn't want to upset you. She'd rather just leave. He's just not investigating the seriousness of his stuff. Not gonna lie, yeah, don't do Reddit. Reddit is not exactly the healthiest place. Especially with all this emotional stuff. I'm like, bro. Yeah. Go enjoy your life. I'm just trying to show you, like, this is what I encounter with clients. This guy's been cheated on, right? Now he's officially divorced. All right, so let's investigate this. How much time? Okay, I got a little bit of time. Not really enjoying life right now. I'm officially divorced, can't quite go no contact, but I'm just miserable all day, every day. Hobbies just aren't fun. I don't engage with conversations with friends. I'm trying to get my house sold and deal with all the bullshit involved with that and moving, and just don't have the energy to do anything else. I'm trying to build a schedule that's been fucked from the moment I started it. I know I'm struggling because I've never had to go and do things alone, and really just sucks the fun out of things. The moment I get excited, I turn to talk to her about it, but then remember it's just me again. I don't know what I'm doing. She was the only person I was ever in a relationship with, and boy, did she decide to fuck me up on her way out. I've never had to heal from a serious mental hit like this before, so I'm stressed because I feel I'm not healing, but my friends say I'm doing better. Okay, so no sense of security about changes. Also, I'm stressed out because 2 of my closest friends are moving out of state, and I have no idea how to meet new people organically anymore. I'm unfortunately an introvert and hate crowds and large events by myself, so I kind of feel like things are slipping even more. Is this a get fucked, be miserable? Time will hopefully make this bearable, or are there things I can actually do to enjoy life again? Just hitting the gym is insufficient. These are his problems. His emotional problems are not going to be solved by going to the gym. His emotional problems are going to be solved by working through the emotional problems. You won't be sad and angry when your legs are shaking. It's such copium, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. If this guy has mental problems, he should go get help from those who are suited to dealing with mental problems. Like, how to enjoy life again. How do I deal with my feelings? If you don't know how to deal with your feelings, go get help from someone who can help you deal with your feelings in a healthy way, like a therapist. Like, that's it. But with this guy right now, do you think that his now ex-wife would feel comfortable giving him details about her honest feelings, her motivations about why she was leaving? At least you'll be healthier physically. Oh, in part. Going to the gym can help. But if that's like, I know plenty of people, I don't know plenty of people, that's not true. I wouldn't be surprised if people are using exercise as a way to avoid the emotional turmoil that they are in and to address that in a healthy way, to process that in a healthy way. Being physically healthy and mentally and improving your physical health and improving your mental health are both important. So do both. Like now he's like sad and lonely. His ex isn't gonna try to rub, like, she's not gonna, she moved 50, like, it's just, this guy just doesn't get it. That's the thing. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand why his wife divorced him, found somebody else, moved 1,500 miles away from him. Like, he doesn't understand that. And what's puzzling to me is he's not investigating, like, bro, like, it doesn't occur to him that the way he's managing his own stress is a big problem. It does not help when it comes to like repairing relationships or resolving conflicts. I mean, would you give bad news to some, like, let me put it this way. This guy is down in the dumps. He's feeling very hopeless and depressed, and he flip-flops between that and extreme rage. Is that somebody you're going to want to give bad news to? I'm guessing no. If she were to say, hey, here's a photo, I'm really happy with my new guy, and I wanted to share that with you because we shared some time together. She's not going to think that way. She's not going to probably operate that way because she's like, well, me sharing my happiness with my ex is probably going to lead him to fucking explode. Right, he might do something more dangerous. Oh shit, I've heard he's actually suicidal. Maybe it's best he knows nothing about me and then I completely cut him, like, just completely cut it off and he can fucking hate me all that he wants, but at least he'll still be alive. Like that, I wouldn't be surprised if she thought that way. I'd be like, well, yeah. And that's just like one problem. For me, my thinking is, hey, this woman went through such extreme actions because extreme things happened for her over time. And I can see evidence of that. I'm like, dude, I don't think this guy is healthy. That needs to be addressed. Rage issues, suicidal tendencies, when he's not getting what he wants. He's focused so much more on his pain rather than hers. He dismisses her stuff as excuses. I'm like, bro, I get why she's tired. I get why she thinks she doesn't have the energy to fix things. It isn't about the other guy. I can't be myself. I'm like, no shit, dude. I'm like, bro, do you not like get how much of a how much your flip-flopping, your scary behaviors are a problem? She has to worry, hey, is this guy gonna kill himself? Like, yeah. Like, I don't wanna I don't wanna be the reason someone dies. So I'd rather he hate me. It's a better alternative than, hey, someone I spent 10, 11 years with dies. I'd rather he resent me than die. Yo, I don't he's not sleeping well. He's not functioning at work anymore. It's getting really bad for him. I don't want to make it worse. But I also know for me, I can't handle this anymore. I just cannot fucking do it. Right? No one will be comfortable staying close to a person that flip-flops that much. We generally want to be around people who are stable and consistent, like, and ideally consistently good. This guy is inconsistent and it's pretty bad. That's such a big problem. Or, like, no one wants to be around someone who's mentally unstable. Now, she could be concerned about him. Like, I've been around people who are mentally unstable from time to time. But no one wants to be like we don't want to be around instability. We want safety and security. And what we'll try to do is to help make the situation more stable and secure over time. If someone's going through a crisis, we're going to try to assist them through that crisis, so that things can get calm again. If there's a conflict, we try to resolve it, to diffuse it. That's normal. Now, for this guy, for example, he's unstable, which is already a concern. But if I pay attention to what this woman has communicated to this guy, I can already see, like, dude, she's trying to... She's saying I can't fix things with you. I'm way too tired to do it. I don't have the energy to do it anymore. Relationship problems are between both parties, right? He's obviously doing things to her that she is not happy about. She's not going to just give up on, like, it's an investment. Like, think about the investment you have to make. The investment you make, you give it 11 years. You're with somebody for 11 years. And then you call it quits. It's probably because the investment ain't that great. You probably invested more than you could. Like, no, like, come on. If someone's having an amazing investment, it would be stupid of them to give that up, right? So unless either A, they're fucked in the head and they make shitty decisions because they're shitty, or second option is, I think the investment ain't that great and there's probably a much better investment out there. Now, for this guy, him flip-flopping like this gives me more evidence that, yeah, I don't think this investment was that good. And she even said, and I'm like, I'm more inclined with her. Right, you'd rather deal with a weird guy that's more emotionally stable. Yeah, it's not complicated. But his emotional instability and it's not even just about him being emotionally unstable, because everyone gets rattled every once in a while. It's the choices that he makes due to that sense of stress and anxiety. She provides her reasoning to him. His instant thinking is, it's just excuses. His instinct is to dismiss her. When I get emotionally unstable or rattled or anxious by something Cass may, like, I remember when Cass said she didn't have feelings for me, and even though I expressed my feelings to her, she's like, I'm never gonna have feelings for you. And this was like a year or so ago. Yes, it rattled me for a variety of reasons. But I was like, rather than trying to force her to like me, I was like, well, let me try to be understanding about this. And I was like, oh, and I'm like, well, yeah, no shit. I was emotionally abusive to you. It's not exactly a mystery. You're going to be like, yeah, I don't want anything to do with you. I'm like, it's fine. Now, is it fine? And I remember she said, I'm uncomfortable with you having feelings for me. That rattled me quite a bit too, because I was worried, like, oh shit, am I not allowed to have certain feelings? But instead of like fighting her with on it, which I was like, it's not a bad idea to do that. I'm like, wait, I'm like, wait a minute. How are my feelings a threat to her? Let me try to understand. Let me try to understand what she's saying. And then I realized, oh, it's not really my feelings that are the problems. It's what I did with my feelings. I'm like, okay, I get it. That makes sense. My way of calming myself, in other words, regulating myself, was based on me doing something proactive and healthy for another person. It was, let me try to understand where she's coming from. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I got it. Wow, she took a big risk in telling me this. I'm very grateful. Then we resolved it. And now, present day, even though she doesn't reciprocate my feelings, I'm not bothered by it. And she's not bothered by me having feelings either. I'm like, great. I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, if there's a problem, let me know. I will try to fix the problem. I'm not dismissing her. I'm not calling her crazy. I'm not freaking out about things and just playing up a narrative. I'm certainly not in denial like this guy is. I'm not crashing out. But this guy keeps on crashing out over and over and over again. And that trend of consistent crash out is a threat. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. And what do people do when problems get worse and worse and worse and worse, no matter what you do? No matter how much you try? Well, one, you get fucking tired. You need a break. And if the reason the problems are happening in a relationship are because, hey, this other guy is being fucking unstable and doing toxic shit to you, dude, eventually you're like, I can't handle this. Fuck this. Like, I can deal with it for a little bit, but then, like, after dealing with it for several years, I'm gonna be like, yo, I only got one life. I'm abandoning this ship. Fuck this. I am too tired of dealing with this shit. I don't have the energy anymore. I am just trapped in this, like, hellish cycle. It's honestly not about the other guy. It's really about, like, it's you. Like, you flip off the lid. I can't even be me. I can't even think about me. I have to think about maintaining your well-being. Even though I'm struggling and suffering, I am fucking out. I am moving 1,500 miles away to be with someone else who actually makes me happy. That I've needed this happiness and I've craved it. I don't get it from you. I try explaining issues with you. Nothing goes anywhere. Instead, you flip the fuck out. Like, I can't do this anymore. It is a drain. It's draining my soul. So yeah, I'm out. That's what I would feel like if I was her. I can understand that this guy just, like, not even looking into himself. He'll say surface level shit about, like, would a gaki be less toxic? I think this guy is a gaki, okay? But right now, his narrative is, hey, I'm the victim. I'm the victim here. Gaki are healthier, to be honest. But he's playing the victim card here. I'm like, dude, you're doing some stuff that is causing people distress. Yes, you're in distress, and I understand that. And at the same time, you are also doing things that cause other people distress. It's one thing to be suicidal. Like, people, I'm sure pretty much everybody has thought about, like, maybe be better off killing ourselves in some way. I don't know if that's the case, but I've heard that enough. And I know I've thought that. So before. Like, hey, maybe it's better I die. But I'm like, yeah, but this doesn't really help. Gaki are healthier because they focus on what makes them happy eating. Chicken burrito, keep memeing. So this guy who's been cheated on, who's been divorced, his partner left 1,500 of 100 miles, is not really considering, if he's looking at himself, he's looking at how to beat himself up. It's not focused on, hey, what can I change? What can I do to grow emotionally? It's not really about looking at the pain within and to understand, hey, how can I resolve this? How can I become a better person who is much more stable and content, who can understand how to deal with, hey, I feel emotionally unstable. Here's what I do in a healthy way, in a productive way that would make things better. That isn't there. His stress is just wanton, like going crazy. He's not managing himself well. And naturally, no one's really going to be comfortable with someone who's perpetually emotionally unstable. Like, that's just the thing. There's so many threats. If someone's emotionally unstable, people get concerned. And then when they're at first, and then they're like, hey, try to help. But if it gets worse and worse and worse, and the behaviors get worse and worse and worse, at a certain point, people are like, I can't do this. It is so, and for that reason, especially for this guy, even if his wife is like terrible or whatever, as he claims, yo, you gotta have a growth mindset. You gotta grow and learn how to emotionally regulate yourself no matter what. If she really is a fucking psycho, crazy, whatever person, then yes, it even behooves you more to understand how to regulate yourself based on your own values, your own beliefs, and to do things that give you a sense of pride, that make you feel good about yourself. And, you're in control of yourself. And you know that what you do will pave the way for a better future for yourself and for those that you love. And you can create that happy, safe environment. It will be very painful if everyday life with your level is like PvP sessions. Yes. We don't want like you need to be in a combat state all the time. Yeah. And if you're in a combat state all the time, I am going to understand if someone's gonna be like, bro, I am tired. I don't want to be in PvP battles with you anymore. I don't want to be in PvP. It's not about, hey, I found a different player to go PvP with. We're doing co-op now. Okay, being with you is PvP. Being with somebody else is co-op. I'm down for co-op. I'm not down for PvP. I'm tired, boss. Oh, I need to find that GIF. Yes. Pretty much. So no matter what, for this guy who has been cheated on, who's been through divorce, having the growth mindset is a net win. And even in situations like this, by the way, if someone has a growth mindset and is consistently growing across many months, across many years, anything's possible. Reconciliation is totally possible. But without having a growth mindset, without learning to grow from the experience, to learn some lessons, at the very least, being emotionally unstable is not a good fucking idea. And you should probably fix your own shit. If you're not doing that, like if you aren't going to learn that, then bro, you're going to keep dealing with this over and over and over again. If you're going to keep, if Like, bro, dismissing your wife's concerns rather than trying to understand her is a bad fucking idea. If you're going to commit to like, well, I'm not going to try to understand my wife, even though she's took a risk in telling me this shit, then yeah, you're screwed. In my opinion, this guy needs an overhaul. Trying to avoid suicidal thoughts isn't going to make it go away. And if you notice, like I can just spot some tendencies. I'm like, bro, you have a tendency of dismissing things. You're trying to suppress your thoughts. Look what you do to her. You suppress hers. How we treat others usually is a reflection of how we treat ourselves. Usually. There is a correlation with it. Which is why, like, dude, you gotta grow yourself. If you can't be compassionate to yourself, it's very uncertain situations. If you can't be understanding to yourself, it's much more difficult to be understanding towards another person. It's not necessarily always the case, but like, if we aren't kind to ourselves, like this guy's obviously not nice to himself. He's trying to kill himself. That's not like him being kind, or he's thought of it at least. Him maintaining so much anger is not compassion towards himself. It's a lot of self-hatred. The external things that he does is a reflection of his inner world, which she was trying to address. Got to address the inner world before you can work on improving stuff externally too. So yeah, he should be asking the question, hey, what can I do to change me? What can I do to upgrade me? Are there flaws that I have that I can work on? How can I, and if I don't know how to work on them, where can I go learn it from? It should be much more proactive in the long term. Things aren't going to get magically better overnight. It takes time and dedication. So do that. If you are on fire and you're burned, you usually go to the hospital to get treated. You're going to suffer the symptoms of being burned for a while. But that doesn't mean you should not go to the hospital because you're not going to get magically cured in 5 minutes. It means no, you go to the hospital, you do all the treatments, whatever you need, however severe your burns are. Same with like breaking a bone. Your bone doesn't just get magically healed after you break it. You wear a cast for a long period of time. You follow a certain protocol for a long period of time. And you don't do the same shit after that got you a broken bone in the first place. And you try to avoid that. Being in situations where you can break your bones or doing things while you break your bones. It's like that. But even though you're feeling all the symptoms and the side effects, you should still follow that protocol anyway, because that will help you in the long term. So with anybody who's going through an affair in general, I understand the pain that can come with it. Deep betrayal, it fucks your head up. And because it's fucked your head up, it is so important to focus on growing and learning from the experience and adapting healthy things from it, productive things. Best case scenario, you and your partner, you can reconcile things with your partner. You can repair a relationship. Infidelity isn't the end. Obviously, you'll have issues with trusting your partner, which is understandable, but that can be rectified if you are so focused on creating an environment of emotional safety and trust that you can become stronger together. Whatever feels impossible in the present can be eventually realized in the future. Otherwise, if it was truly impossible, how come there are some cases where people can become stronger? In my own experience, Cass and I are stronger together now as best friends than we were when we were ever married. It's much more honest, it's much more mature, it's much more genuine. And a lot of that is just through, I mean, her making a choice too, but for me, And my part, my contribution is I made a choice to take accountability for what I did, for any bad thing I did. And a constant like trying to grow and become better. What can I learn? How can I do better in the present for the future? It does involve a lot of building more self-awareness, reflecting on my choices, thinking about whether it's actually good by my own values. If I don't know what my values are, figure out what they are. I'm sure people know on some level. It's about me building my own sense of identity based on my own principles. I do that more and more over time and align my behaviors with that very solid identity that I'm building. And of course, I'm going to feel secure. Someone makes an accusation about me, for example, or does something that doesn't connect. I can operate as who I want to be, and I let the chips fall where they may, and it's fine. I don't really worry. It's certainly not nearly as much. But without having this growth mindset, you're at a plateau. And for some people, they will just keep experiencing the same consequences over and over again, where people leave them. And if they keep pointing the finger out on the outside, well, it can't really grow from it then, because it's outside your control. So it's always important to focus on what's in your control and have that growth mindset. Because, yeah, I don't really want to be PvP with someone that I love. I'm here to do co-op with. We're trying to have co-op. Co-op, not PvP. No friendly fire. Okay. Let's see. What are the comments on this guy's post who just like complains? Oh god, this is a guy I blocked. Ah yes, what a hopeful thing. Look at this. Leaving things to control. Get fucked, be miserable. Time will hopefully make this bearable. Ah yes, what great advice. Just nothing. You don't gotta do anything, bro. Just wait. I know you're emotionally struggling and in serious jeopardy with your own life, but just wait it out, bro. Maybe something will get better. They're afraid your divorce mojo will rub off on them? Bruh. No. No. They're afraid your instability is gonna rub off on them and drain you. And drain them. Ah, yes, for your emotional craziness, just go to the gym, bro. I don't have anything to help you. Just keep going, I guess. Learn something new. Go take classes. Go to the gym. Make friends. Improv. Volunteering is good. Yeah. Yeah, spend time with the friends and family that yeah. All like this is all like well-meaning advice, but it's like, bro, you're emotionally unstable. I think what you need is a therapist. I think what you need is a therapist. I think you need to like really seriously talk to a cognitive behavioral or a dialectical behavioral therapist and start fixing your shit. Like get that proper mental help because you are not mentally healthy. Get it. Now, you need it. I agree, you need it. Which is why I think staying in a subreddit in general is a bad thing. It's usually a bunch of people who got the same problem jerking off each other, casting the blame on the world. Yeah. Blaming, and I can understand that sentiment. Blaming the world does what? Okay, like, if I were to say, hey, the world's a harsh and cruel place. Okay. What do I do with it? I got no fucking clue. I can just blame the world. I can say, yeah, the reason why my life sucks is because the world sucks. And the world is cruel. But does that help make it better? I don't think so. It might make me feel a little better. But it's like, Okay, but that doesn't give me anything tangible to do to improve my life. Like, even it's okay, sure. Let's just say it's true. The world is a harsh and cruel place. Okay, I get it. Can you, like, does that help you though? Helps you feel better, but does it help you solve your problems? It's like, can you say yes? Does it solve your problems? No, okay, it doesn't. So we need to find something that actually helps us solve our problems. Stating the fact doesn't help. Right. It doesn't actually help. Suck it up and try to be a better person, what they should do. I agree. I agree that people should just be like focusing on growing from the experience, figuring out what they can change, what's in their control. And this guy very clearly does not control that guy I'm referencing does not control his emotions. He's not in control of it. His wife, his now ex-wife, says certain things. Things externally to him happen. And he goes fucking apeshit. The whole spiraling, not okay with myself. He struggles to deal with certain dates. Just wish I knew why. I've lost everything. I'm empty. I'm angry. I'm like, yo, you're not stable. Let's deal with this instability fast. Oh, why is chat repeating itself? Weird. Is it going to repeat itself again? But yeah, like, just... I'm sure if you were to scrutinize his tendencies and figure and more focus and focus less on, hey, I have all this stress, and focus on how can I use the stress to become better and channel it towards what's in with his control and recognize that he needs to like be healthier and work with a therapist on that. I'm sure he'd be fine. But yeah, gotta grow from these experiences. And if you can repair relationships. If you don't even grow, you got no chance. Anyway, I think that's gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping up this stream. I got like 5 minutes. Yeah, change. Try to be a better person for the sake of being a better person. Like, be nice just because it's a nice thing to do. Like, when you hold the door open for people, it's because it's a nice thing to do. Not because, oh, hey, I'm going to hold the door open for somebody so that they can tip me. And if they don't tip me, then I'm not going to hold the door open. I'm sure you've met people or like had like people like, I don't know if you guys ever experienced this. You go into like a city and someone starts like wiping your windows. And at first it's like, oh, that's kind of nice. But then there's that expectation of like, wait, do they want me to pay them? Like, if that's why they're doing this, I don't want them to wipe my windshield. Like, please stop. Or if someone holds the door open for you and they ask a tip, you're like, bro, I ain't giving you no fucking tip. This feels really like you're guilt tripping me into paying you. No thanks. It's unwanted help and it's very deceptive. So no one can trust that if the help is conditional and forced upon you anyway. But yeah. So, ah, that was a long stream. Just like ranted for like 3 straight hours. Oh well. Hopefully, at least for those of you that were here, there's something of interest or value for you to take away. Um, if you have questions about self-esteem or relationships in general, The nice guys are, yeah, right, chicken burrito. Nice guys are like, well, I was nice to you, but so you're not sleeping with me, so you're a bitch. I'm like, okay, you're not actually nice then. You're just masquerading as nice to manipulate a woman to getting what you want. I'm like, you're literally like the exact opposite of a nice guy. You're a pretty like fucked up guy. Do nice things for the sake of being nice. It's not really a complicated concept. Unless you're manipulative. Then it's a very foreign concept. Oh no, what if I don't get what I want out of it? I'm like, well, that's okay. Oh no. Oh. Anyway, I'm gonna dip out. And so thank you all for being here. I'm curious, what was my audience size today? On YouTube, apparently 6 people. On Twitch, 8. You know, over 10, not bad in total. Have I read Buddhism? No, I have not. What makes you ask? We talked a lot today. Yes, we did, chicken burrito. Lots of yapping. I don't know much about Buddhism. I know Cass knows a little bit more than I do, but like I'm not very well versed. I think some of the things I mentioned, I think probably, I'm guessing probably fall in line with it. Like I'm guessing like attachment. Buddhism is similar to grounding yourself. Oh, yeah. I imagine there's a considerable overlap. So people's like I've heard of things like attachment to things. I'm not really attached to outcomes per se. Not really. Oh yeah, how's Nino? I don't know. I haven't spoken to her in a while. Um, I'm not particularly attached to outcomes per se. So I'm more attached to my own choices and what I do, my own value system. So that's where I ground myself, for example. When it comes to, I think Buddha. Okay, this is gonna sound a little wonky in a kind of interesting way. So let's get the tenets of Buddhism. You've now activated me. This should be fun. Wikipedia, not AI. I I don't know, bro. Too complicated. Let's go to Stanford. Okay, this is actually like okay. Four noble truths. Life is suffering. Okay. Life is suffering. Suffering is caused by craving. Suffering can have an end. There's a path which leads to the end of suffering. My interpretation of this is yeah, no shit, life has problems. What a surprise. Life has problems in the way. I don't think take this to mean life is only suffering. It's like, no shit, we got problems. Yeah. Suffering is caused by craving. The craving, from my understanding, is about having that attachment to things that are on the external. What we have, right? So if we can't get what we want, so for example, that guy who I was just mentioning, he couldn't have his partner. So inside, he was having so much suffering. He was unstable. Suffering can have an end. Yeah, deal with your shit, bro. You deal with that and you won't suffer. You focus on what's within your control and you fix that shit. Life is impermanent. If you're not happy at a given time, yeah, like obviously you're not going to be happy 100% of the time. But it's to go for like contentment and general peace, right? So here, let's take a look at the eightfold. Craving equals expectation, expectation not being met equals misery. Right. It's okay to like I have a minor attachment. Like, let me be very clear. I do have some attachment to outcomes. I do have some I do have some attachment. That's true. It's impossible to be like, no, I have no attachments to anything in my life whatsoever. I'm like, that sounds kind of fucking inhumane. But my sense of contentment is not based on I don't have that outcome, that expectation right now. It's based on like, well, I think if I just do these things, sometime in the future I'll get it. It's about where I send my anxiety, my craving, my stress, so to speak. Which direction I send it towards. Am I doing it in a direction that is productive and helpful? If so, then I'm not really worried. Like when you see me, for example, when I play Neo, I fail a lot. I die a lot, I mess up a lot. I do encounter a lot of stress, and sometimes it grows a bunch. So what I try to do is I try to channel my stress towards things that actually make a fucking difference. And even if I'm not getting what I'm looking for today in that present moment, I have faith that it'll happen in the future. And if it's not happening within a reasonable time frame, then I'm reevaluating, hey, is what I'm doing actually helping? And only as a last resort will I like paint something as like, okay, it's an external thing. And if it's an external thing, I'll be like, okay, I'm just leaving it alone. If something is out of my control, I'm like, I'm not going to try to get control of something that's out of my control. It just doesn't work. That's just going to increase my suffering. So here, let's take a look at the Eightfold Path here, all right? It's pretty, I imagine it would be pretty standard stuff. Don't lie. Don't do shitty things. Don't do shitty things. Have integrity. Don't do bullshit. Promote goodness. Pay attention. Make sure your mind is slowly going towards a healthy space. Be more selfless. Don't do selfish things. Be nice. Be loving. And then practice these, I guess, more. Accepting reality. I'm like, this isn't that far-fetched. It's not like pretty standard stuff. No, I like it's very much in line with what I practice and try to encourage my clients. Like I don't preach Buddhism by any means. But like a lot of my stuff aligns with this. A lot of the stuff I teach does align with a lot of religious things, a lot of religious practices. But like just doing good unto others, being kind. It's not complicated. And I could extrapolate this to a lot of other religions too. I am advocate like a lot of I think people would say like, dude, you're advocating for like detachment or no attachment to things as opposed to who we are and what we do from that. More about our choices, more about the present. And even I don't have much of an attachment to a present identity. It's more about I want to become someone better. I want to become someone nicer. I want to become someone more loving. What can I do to change to become that in the future? If I am practicing things in the present towards that goal, then I'm not really worried. If I can have the assurance about, hey, I'm doing things in the present which can lead to that future, and if I'm fine. Religion aims practitioner to become the best version of themselves, yeah. And to do that, teachings can be similar in various religions, yeah. It's more about shifting, controlling your behavior, start shifting your mindset to be less attached to things, right? In that case of that guy, his excessive attachment, his over like attachment to, oh my gosh, external thing my wife is now ex-wife is doing is sending me spiraling. Yeah, that hits right here. That hits here exactly. No shit. His intense suffering is caused by all these cravings. These cravings can absolutely have an end. The suffering can totally just like go away. And obviously there is a path. He just needs to start dictating it. And I try to help people to get that path. Stop focusing on shit outside your control. Focus on your stuff within your control. If I were to try to kind of puzzle piece fit Buddhism to that, which like I would say, bro, you're like not practicing tenet 5. You on internally. You're focused on things externally, but not internally. Like just being dismissive, for example. If you were to just look within and you just look at the premise of, hey, is being dismissive of your loved one a good idea? Just on its own. And you'll say, no, but insert stupid justification. I'm like, no. The answer is just no. It is not good as a default. Being dismissive falls into, it totally violates like moral conduct, according to this. I would argue it fits in abusive language. If you're being dismissive of your partner, you're being emotionally like abusive in some capacity. You're minimizing them. It's not as overt as like, oh, you're a shitty person, except he starts saying that. So it does fit into that. I'm like, you need to concentrate and be mindful of yourself to have appropriate moral conduct. To be more selfless, man. Yeah, no, go ahead. I know, it's for the fun of it. But it is curious how my stuff aligns with a lot of those types of things. In my own life, when I got divorced, yeah, I went through suffering, but I recognized that, like, wait, there's something messed up within me I need to start fixing? Because I'm just spiraling, even though in my reality, there isn't anything in the present that's happening. I got a bunch of trauma in my head. I kind of need to fix that, bro. Now, to be clear, I do have, like I said, I do have certain attachments to certain things in my life. Like, come on, like, I obviously want to reconcile with Cass. But the difference is, where does my anxiety, my stress go towards? Towards me doing things that are unproductive and unhealthy, would be like, oh, you're gonna come back to me, oh my god. Or am I just like, well, my attachment, because I want that, I am going to place my energies towards being a better version of myself even more. In my mind, if I am somebody that exudes so much trust, can create an environment of trust, can create an environment of emotional safety, and if I can demonstrate that, hey, I am the person that you can develop deeper levels of intimacy with, that you can feel connected to, that you can resolve conflicts with, then yeah, pretty freaking likely things will get better. You know, the thing is, I've actually asked Cass straight up, like, hey, like, why'd you fall in love with me in the first place? I'm just curious. She's like, oh, well, you were someone I felt emotionally safe with. You're like my best friend. And like, we could do so many cool things together and talk through things. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, you made it pretty clear to me. And I'm like, those are things I'd like to do anyway, so I'll just do them now. I mean, regardless whether we're in love or not in love, I still want to have a fun time with you. I still want us to feel emotionally comfortable and safe with each other. So let me just enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride. Yeah, let's have more fun, Cass. I would love to have more fun with you. How can we have more fun together? And then, surprise, surprise, we have more fun together. We're more honest with each other. Wow, what a radical concept. Wait, you're telling me if I really want to I'm so attached to the outcome of enjoying a good time with Cass, what I should do is try to create a good time with Cass? What? What? Wait, man, I don't know. That's too complicated of a concept. You're telling me to have fun in the future, I should start having creating more fun now? Wait, that's it? Wait, but what if we're not having fun? I'm like, well, then shouldn't I try to learn how to create more fun even more? Wait, bro, no. It's not complicated. So what do I do? I'm like, how can we have more fun today? How can I enjoy things today? How can I make it a little better today? And maybe at some point in the future things will go great. I don't know, but it turns the question of, hey, are we gonna have fun? Are we gonna have fun? Is it gonna happen? Will it happen? I don't know if it's gonna happen at all. To like, well, I don't know when it's gonna happen, but the if part is kind of guaranteed. So why worry? Poof, suffering gone. The craving, the expectation, even if it's not being met in the present, it's irrelevant. It's just something that'll happen in the future. All I have to be concerned upon is not my craving, my sense of suffering is no longer external, it's based on things internal. Oh, am I doing things in the right way? Am I being healthy? Am I being happy? Am I doing things to support my growth? Because if I grow enough, the rest takes care of itself. No need to worry. Sure, problems will happen, but okay, if a problem happens, let me try to improve things. Let me keep trying to grow. I keep growing enough, eventually life will follow. It's not a guarantee, but it's the best shot. So yeah, I just try to be nice. I try to be an even better version of nice. I try to be an even better version of loving, of caring, of understanding, of being a safer person, a more trustworthy person, etc. I just keep growing that. And it works. I mean, I went from, it's worked for me. I went from getting kicked out of the house back in 2022 to becoming best friends with Cass, being her roommate, and has been stable for the last 2 years. And we're having more and more fun. It's good. Woo! That's all it takes. It's not that complicated. It just feels complicated because of all this baggage we have, all this extra suffering that wants to pull us, all the stress that wants to pull us into unhealthy directions. In my case, a lot of childhood trauma. So there's that. I think people take the be yourself the wrong way and think having to improve is others implying they're inferior. Maybe they are inferior. Maybe the current version of you does suck ass. Like here, we'll take Baldy again. I was about to type chicken burrito again. Let's take Baldy again, all right? Oh, oops. God damn it. No, not this one. Okay, we'll take Baldy again. The lack of will to change and the mindset are why they always... I don't want to see an ad. Oh, god damn it. Freaking ads. Will this work? Yeah, okay. Yeah, bald! Where's the photo of the guy? I don't know. Fine, we'll just do this. Okay, we'll take Baldy over here. Okay, here you go. There's okay. I would not say, yo man, you should be yourself. I'm like, the version of yourself is a guy that does this shit. No. Yes, we are definitely gonna think you are inferior. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes. Nah, man, you should just be great. You should be proud of who you are. I'm like, no, you fucking shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. Not at all. The lack of will to change and the mindset are why they are always blaming the things they can't control. I'm flawless. My mom told me I'm perfect the way I am. I'm like, no, in this case, you're like, no, you're not. Oh my God, you need to change. And if you think you don't need to, well, you're fucked. I mean, literally, 10 counts of distribution of this shit. Like, oh my god. Oh yeah, according to a search warrant affidavit, they began monitoring him back in February. Sharing does... Oh, that's... Oh. They conducted surveillance from March through June. Developed probable cause. Oh my god. Disgusting. So, being yourself can definitely be taken the wrong way, and here's a case where it exists. Implying that we are perfect means, bro, you've peaked. That's it. That's it. That's your peak. Oh, I agree. I absolutely will. Look, I agree with you, Chicken Burrito. I'm 100% shaming this behavior. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There is no reality that I can think of. No good reality where this is acceptable. Get the fuck out of here. Peak hairline. It's such a cheap shot, but it's so warranted. I won't bully somebody, but I'll call this the fuck out. I will absolutely shame this. And obviously, like, bullying compared to being put in prison for God knows how many years is like, yeah, you're screwed, bro. This type of shit should just needs to stop. Yeah, cooked. The whole like being yourself argument thing, like it only really works if who you are is good. If who you are is shit, being yourself is shit. But concerns about, I don't really try to be myself per se, like in the present. I'm focused on growing who that is. I'm focused on becoming better. If my version, if my I guess my definition of, hey, who am I, is gonna be, well, I am aspiring to be this. If it's a transient concept, or if it's a developing concept, then here's what happens. I don't really have to worry about who I am today, because who I am growing to be is just getting better. And if it's getting better at such a great rate, I don't care anymore. To put another analogy into this, I'm going to use money. If my bank account, if I'm making, imagine making so much money, like let's say you're making millions, do you even every day, do you really care about your bank account balance? Probably not. For some people, the amount of money that they make is like, I'm sure for like Elon Musk, he'd probably be like bitter if he isn't making millions, but that's like a whole different story. But for most normal people, there's a certain point where they stop worrying about their money because they're making more than enough money on the daily. They don't need to look at their accounts. They have the assurance that, hey, whatever it is that I am doing is just making things better and better and better. I don't need to worry about who I am today or what my bank balance is. It doesn't matter if I have 10,000 in my account or 100,000, or even if I'm, in the red, which I shouldn't be in the red, but that might be a bigger problem to address. But if I'm living my life in an overall good way, and I am just right, like financially secure, you just don't worry. You're like, oh yeah, we can afford to spend money on this vacation, a reasonable vacation, or even if we splurge, I'm still good because we're financially very responsible and healthy. Okay, great. Let's go enjoy this vacation. Let's go enjoy our wealth. Let's go live it up. Same principle when it comes to emotional well-being, when it comes to a sense of identity. If I just keep growing that so much, I don't really have to look at the quality of it anymore because I know it'll just get better. Because I'm making it better. It's like when I play Neo as well. There are moments where I'm like, shit, I'm not able to make this work out. But then you'll notice before I even achieve something pretty cool, like against Great Tengu the other day, I'm like, oh yeah, if I can just do this, this, and this piece and put it all together, I can lab this a little bit, I'm pretty sure I can develop this. My confidence is already there in an outcome well before I've achieved it. I'm like, yeah, I just keep practicing this, I'll be good. Oh, against Takeda Shingen, I practice these specific things with deflecting cut, I'll get a clip. It might take me some time, but I'm pretty assured I'll get it. And that's all it takes. And you'll notice when I'm practicing overall for situations where I have good confidence that I can replicate something, I'm very calm. Very calm. I'm just like locked in. Right, the momentum is there, so I'm not worried. I don't need to worry. If the momentum isn't there, like it was against the Baldy boss, against Kunimatsu, and then I think, who was it? I think it was those two enemies, right? Oh, and Takasuki Shinsaku. Because I couldn't maintain like a predictable momentum, I was like, shit, this is just feeling a bit random, so I might just have to get lucky. But against Takeda Shingen, against Hattori Hanzo, a bunch of enemies, which I've written down, I'm like, no, I can replicate this. And there might be some variation, but there's enough I can replicate here, so I'll be fine. And that makes all the difference. But it all boils down to me having a growth mindset. Growing who I am, growing what I do, growing what I can accomplish, growing whatever it is, my skills, whatever's in my control. I don't want things to be a luck issue. I'd rather have things be a skill issue because at least there's something I can work on. That guy on Reddit very clearly has skill issues, but he's attributing it to an external luck issue. Oh, the game is bad. The game is unfair. And I'm like, bruh, I think you just got a skill issue. Work on some skills. Level up, dude. And then you'll be fine. That's it. So I think I'm going to conclude the stream for today. That was an extra 30-minute tangent. Thanks to Nguyen for prompting that, and Chicken Burrito for, of course, participating. Dude, I swear to God, like, you have like the greatest memes. Going from cock blocked to chicken blocked, I'm gonna use chicken blocked because that's just too funny. It's too funny to me. Anyway, so hope this was informative. I'll probably do more things like this next week. I don't know if the topic will be affairs, probably not, something else. And if you want some help with your self-esteem or relationships for free, you know, I already have this on here. I'll post it on YouTube, and you can ask me some questions here. That way you don't forget, or you can just ask me live when they come about. But yeah, I'm going to take off. Thank you all so much for watching. Tomorrow I will be streaming Neo. Same time as today's stream, but about Neo, not about this. So hope to see you guys then. If not, I'll see you in the future, hopefully. And if not, enjoy the rest of your days and whatever you choose to do instead. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all later. Bye.